going in here. That's right. Oh, we're live, pal. We are live, pal. I don't know why. I love that. I love that song. This is a fantastic record right there. It's just fantastic. That's facts. The least trash royalty-free audio that we have right there. Where'd our graphic go here?
Low-key fire.
Come on now, fam.
What's going on, everybody?
You could.
Never had one of them days that you could take it from me. Never had days that you could take it from me. Wait,
Joe.
Let me see if I can freestyle.
Real talk,
I can
Joe.
do some Drake. Really. Oh yeah.
The King.
Oh, never thought that we could take it from the top.
Yeah, they did.
You guys know we had to do it. The mother girls had to wop.
Okay, stop. Stop it. Hi guys, show's gonna go live here. Hey Matt, what's good, man? Welcome. Don't see you in here often.
Yeah,
good to see you. Good to see you, Dave. Dave knew the assignment.
Oh,
I'm waiting for a sample to get delivered because he sent something today. I know exactly what to do with it. I need to see what it looks like. Here we go. What it do, baby? Welcome in here to the Thursday, February 17th edition of D-Lo and KC. R.I.P. Louis the King. His time he's not dead. His time with the Sacramento Kings is over. We'll dive into that. I'm Damian Barling. He's Kenny Caraway.
yes, sir.
We thank you so much for being here with us. Olivia Christian, our ESPN 1320 host and contributor, going to be with us coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. We'll get to the Kings game last night. They fall short against the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan, way over.
But didn't score 40.
Didn't score 40. That's facts. Scored 38 on 59% shooting. I think he broke a Wilt Chamberlain record last night, which is just that's just an absurd sentence to say out loud. DeMar DeRozan
wasn't the problem, though.
No, he wasn't. We'll get into that. Apparently, Louis the King was the problem because the Kings cut him today. So
Poor Louis.
He I don't know. That's one that I thought would, get some work. At first, I was like, he's gonna get some work. He gonna be all right. And then he got to work, and it was like, I don't know if Louis the King gonna make it. And it turns out Louis the King, in fact, did not make it.
Well, like I mentioned a couple of times, when he first signed or whatever, I just wanted to see what it was. I saw it. He's not.
I didn't want to see it no more.
By no means is he a scrub or anything. The guy can play. He has talent, but he seems like he could possibly be the classic 4A player, as they would say in baseball. Too good for AAA. Not really good enough to be a long-term solution in Major League Baseball. That's kind of what he is. He'd be a H League player, better than the G League, and not all the way up to the NBA.
So the fictitious H League, because that's definitely not a real thing. So.
4A is not a real place either. AAA, 4A. Yeah. AAA is good. 4A is not there. It's supposed to be AAA majors. Louis the King, I will say this, though. He should be able to go overseas and make a lot of money.
Indeed, he should.
He's a good ball player.
Timing is interesting. If it hadn't been for the follow-up report last night, I would have thought TT was coming back. TT hitting the old market, but it turns out he's headed to the place that the Kings are leaving. He's joining the Chicago Bulls, and that's where we'll get to right now is the Sacramento Kings lose last night, closing out the first part of the season. We're 50 freaking games in, 60 games in. I'm not going to say the first half of the season.
No, go ahead. I mean, go ahead.
It's the first part.
We're getting done with the first half of the season.
No, we're getting done with the first part. First half done been over with. How are we going to teach kids math if you're telling them 60 is half of 82?
It's the half of the season. Technically,
no, it's not.
Damian, technically, there's probably another, I don't know, for some teams, 25 left, another
there's no
45
way
games
no matter
left?
how, but it ain't 42 games or 41 games. Hell, it ain't 40 games. It ain't even 30. What are we talking about right now?
It's half.
It's part. The first part of the season. You call it what you want to. I'm gonna call it the first half or the first part of the season. Kings lose 125 to 118. Head into the All-Star break. 22-38.
That's disappointing.
That's an understatement. That's an understatement, pal. Yeah, 22-38 is definitely disappointing. Not where I thought this team would be this year. Not where I thought this team would be at this point at all. With that said, though, if you missed us yesterday, I don't make predictions. I told you I didn't feel good about this game, but there were certain things I wanted to see from it. I didn't think they were going to beat the Chicago Bulls. I thought the Bulls were locked in headed into that game. We talked about the potential of, guys, let's just get through this. Let's get to Cleveland. DeMar DeRozan's got work to do this weekend. Let's just get through the game. Good thing for those guys, though, they were at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were locked in like, yo, we're on a 4-game winning streak. Let's make it 5. Let's head into the All-Star break. Let's come back firing in all cylinders. Alex Caruso is going to come back. We'll see what happens with our man, Zach LaVine. Lonzo Ball is going to make his way back with us at some point. We're really going to hit our stride as this season comes to a close. With that said, though, obviously I wanted the Kings to win, but, man, I saw a lot of what I wanted to see last night.
Yeah, I watched that game, and I just saw an NBA game. I saw a team in Sacramento that had an opportunity to win. They weren't overmatched necessarily. They were there. And that's a very, very low bar, but that's better than what we've seen in the past. I mean, Chicago is still the number 2, possibly number 1 team in the Eastern Conference on the road in a situation where they have a guy that's playing.
But they're number 1 right now.
Yeah, they're playing at an MVP clip. And they were there, at the end of the third quarter. It was right there, tie game, close game, whatever the case may be. So it's a loss. These should be like normal losses for teams, right? Like they played a game, you were there, didn't come up with it. Maybe you would have played some more defense or something. Like, you had an opportunity. You had an opportunity to lose, or an opportunity to win. Not we lost because just nobody wanted to play basketball or being soft or, just it's a typical NBA loss.
Yeah. Which we're not accustomed to as Sacramento Kings fans. We're used to disaster. That's kind of how it goes.
Did you said you saw what you hoped to see from this team? I mean, was it something
for the most part?
Was it something that maybe, I don't know, encouraged you for this group? And I'm talking this year, for the rest of the year. Would it encourage you?
No. Like I mean, that's pessimistic. Sure, I guess. Like, yeah. Let's what I wanted to see De'Aaron continue the clip that he was on. I wanted to see De'Aaron continue to be effective and efficient offensively. He was both of those things. He obviously had a phenomenal first quarter, kind of tapered off, but still overall had a really good game. While his offensive performance may have, in terms of scoring, made it tapered off a little bit, he started distributing the ball really well. He was getting everybody involved last night, including Domantas Sabonis, who said, I've got to be more aggressive. I got to be more aware of what I'm doing out there. He was that. He was absolutely that. 2 assists short of a triple-double for Domantas Sabonis last night. We saw Harrison Barnes get going after 0 trips to the foul line against Brooklyn. We saw Harrison Barnes get to the foul line 8 times. We saw him, creep closer to that 20-point number, which we had seen over the course of the last, subtract the Brooklyn game, 4 or 5 games or so. So all of that stuff, yeah, like I'm excited. I'm happy about that stuff. We saw I think Mo Harkless was focused on a different side of the court, which that's very rare for a Sacramento King, but like he just wasn't really involved in what was going on offensively. And there's some problems that we're going to talk about. And I hate to do it, and I'm sorry that we just got to do it. Like there are some problems that now go past. He's not really effective to, okay, wait a minute. Now I think he's hurting the team. And I'm sure most of you can figure out who I'm talking about, but we'll get to that later. Were you encouraged by something you saw last night?
Obviously, Fox playing and his aggressiveness and his production was great to see. You love seeing that. I love seeing Sabonis saying that I need to be more aggressive, getting more aggressive, and having a big game, a really productive game. Justin Holiday, it was kind of a Buddy Hield game where he took 11 threes, 11 of his 12 shot attempts were threes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him attack a little bit more, but still, 18 points from your shooting guard position. He shot 50% from the field. Typically with the Buddy Hield game where he's shooting 12 of his 13 shot attempts or threes, it's like he's 3 of 12 from the field, right? That wasn't the case here. So Justin Holiday played well. It's good to see that.
Yeah.
So there were some positives. The defense, man, it's just I feel like they're just kind of missing one player. One player.
On the defensive end, you think they're missing one player?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that player may be there. Like if Justin Holiday plays a little better on the defensive end, if Davion Mitchell was there to be in the rotation, he may be on the roster. I'm not saying it as if necessarily the guy isn't there, although I don't think he's on the roster at all, but he could be. But they're just missing one piece to kind of help this team be more consistent and reach maybe another level. Not the top level, but reach another level from where they're at right now. Maybe like a 9-10 seed level. I feel like they're missing one player.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk more about that as the day progresses. I do want to mention this real quick. You got a little dose of Trey Lyles last night. Again, a small dose.
Yeah,
but
not enough.
Not enough.
Let's see a little more. You ain't got to play 35 minutes, but 5 minutes, come on, man.
Okay. Well, in the 5 minutes, are you looking at like, see, let's go, let's see some minutes here from the former Detroit Pistons.
Not even necessarily that. I mean, he had the nice little play where he was running the floor and got a feed, for the layup and things of that nature. But just I want to see more. There could have been more. Could have been more minutes out there for him last night. Metu in his 16 minutes is okay. Okay. I mean, it was neither good nor bad to, in my opinion, but I want to see, I would have liked to see Trey Lyles be, 10 minutes of play as opposed to 5.
Okay.
Just want to see what he could do. Like I said, he wasn't the problem. DeMar DeRozan wasn't the problem. The problem for me, you let Kobe White get 31 on that head. Man, Kobe White hit them boys up for 31.
I feel like that's sure.
Kobe could have a good game. He can't hit you for 31. Kobe, a good ball player.
Well, first of all, isn't Kobe your guy? Wouldn't Kobe the birth of the Kenny Caraway curse?
He is.
Right as we're signing off from the long forgotten game day. What was that show called? Game night? What was that? Was it Game Day?
I think it was Game Night.
Game night? Game day? Whatever that show was called that we used to do. We're getting ready to sign off on OKC. Oh, watch out for Cody White. Wait, what? No, he's capable. He goes for like 40 that night. Like,
all
right,
36, 38, something like
cool.
that.
Thanks, Kenny. You only did it like 4 more times during the brief history of that show, but that's fine. You mentioned Justin Holiday. Didn't Justin Holiday take a 3 in transition? It was like 1 on. You talked about putting up Buddy Hield numbers. Was that Justin Holiday that did that? Because it was 1 on 3. It was Justin Holiday versus versus the Bulls. Like, oh, I got this. I'm in the starting two spot.
The soul of Buddy Hill took over.
I know my assignment. We'll step out. We'll come back. There's a lot more we want to talk about, including Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. You touched a little bit on De'Aaron yesterday. I think it's worth expanding on more. Plus, we'll open up the phone lines for you. 916-349-1320. We're just getting started. It's Stilo and KC, brought to you by McQueen and the Violet Fog, the smoothest gin in the world, handcrafted in Brazil, here on ESPN 1320. Man, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
Appreciate your music 408. CJ, Fig and Vine, what's happening?
CJ.
Most beautiful flowers in the region right here. Fig and Vine. Go do it. Do it. They you don't need no store-bought flowers, man. Plan in advance.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, I see, Manny. Okay. Cross promotion with Deuce and Mo. I got you. Oh, goodness gracious.
I would like Malik Monk, Young Sav.
Yes, he would.
Rappy, shout out to you too. You know what I'm saying? Big ups.
Dusky. That's the new bit now. Dusky. Oh man, that's a trek. You gotta call security on your way. Actually, you gotta call Kenny on the way. Kenny will call security.
I have no
get through the gates of Elk Grove.
It's just a random place, man. Matter of fact,
yeah. There's Elk Grove, and then there's Elk Grove Hills. That's where Kenny lives. Elk Grove Hills.
I just live, basically in a shack. Don't listen to these guys.
One of those statements is far closer to the truth. Yeah. Like Shaq. Shoot, what you playing, man? I'm making Brussels sprouts tonight, man. What you talking about?
Hey, man.
And Brussels sprouts bacon. Get on that happy hour with James and Jerry. And
I'm asking the question again. Who, I'm really on my spade. I'm in my spades bag right now.
Oh boy.
I'm in my spades bag right now. This little spades, this spades plus game it's fire. It is.
Speaking of games, I had to make a quick run this morning and found myself in the parking lot of Best Buy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That happened.
I already hate myself for doing it.
We're gonna go watch the game. I think the next live game might be Tuesday.
So that's like, if it works, like, could we all like go out and hang out and like if we just say, yo, we're going to Boston versus whatever.
Yeah.
Could we just put that out on social media and anyone who has an Oculus could come hang out with us?
Absolutely.
That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of dope.
If they, which I don't know if they will, they should petition the NBA. If they did a Kings game, that would be the way to do it.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
If they did a Kings game, it'd be lit.
Absolutely.
Kings versus.
Well, if you look at the list of games, that's and you know what? This has really gone under talked about. That's a great, man. I saw
that the other day when I saw a clip of him working out. I was like, I like TD.
Yeah, Shida, man. It definitely was.
No, that was not a grant. I can do a grant. I can do
that was a grant.
You want me to do a grant real quick?
You just did.
No, because I was like, oh, grant is boy.
Okay. Okay. I hear the I hear the difference.
We got a dandy.
You know what's
From the
funny
Twins?
about dude, oh boy. All right. You know what's funny about stuff like this is I did, and I'm already like, I'm fucking taking this back. Like, what am I gonna do with this? I don't need this.
You do a lot. Oh, but it's crazy. I was in the studio.
Peer
They got the rap
pressure.
studio in there. They rapping. I was in the club
Oh Lord.
in Oculus. It was lit. Yeah, it's crazy.
They got Oculus clubs.
Oh yeah. I think it's called Vive or Viv or something like that. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
So we just gonna play this no role models beat forever, huh?
Forever. I mean, you know what? I actually have some new instrumentals. I meant to send them to Jesse.
We need to step our game up. We're leaderless now.
By
They're
Mon-
just gonna
by
rely on
Tuesday.
us to do everything. Like we've gotta we've got to take
By Tuesday, we'll have some new stuff. Ooh.
Oh goodness gracious.
Ooh.
That's very accurate. That's it. That's why Jesse hasn't switched up the music the last time he did. Drake bars was born. That's it. My bad. Jesse just has to remind me of stuff sometimes. That's my bad. That's my bad.
We're gonna be getting Pop Smoke bars. R.I.P. Pop Smoke.
Always. 916-349-1320 if you want to get in here on the conversation. It's D'Lo and KC. Brought to you by McQueen and the Violet Fog, the smoothest gin in the world. We're also live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320 if you want to watch the show. YouTube.com/ESPN1320. We're live on Facebook as well. Go like the ESPN 1320 Facebook page and hang out with us there. No matter where you are, we appreciate you so much for being with us. The first part of the Kings season comes to a conclusion last night with a 125-118 loss. I was trying to. They had like 3 attempts at a 3 at the end of the game, and like they was really going for it. And I'm like, hey, it's like, oh man, if that drops, it's a 4-point game, of course, or a 3-point game. Of course, it doesn't. And it's like, all right, that's just kind of the nature of the way this game has gone. They couldn't quite get over the hump as the game went along there late, but they head into the break with a 22-38 record. We didn't mention this name at the beginning. I want to get to De'Aaron and Sabonis and what they did and point out some things that you said yesterday. Donte DiVincenzo has not really been able to find his groove offensively, but defensively, are you encouraged by what you see from Off-White? That's the thing. We're doing it. If we could do Freeport, we could do Off-White. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I need to see that the mock, the blueprint. I got to see that. That you have in your head.
Oh, that Dave got. Okay, so no, Dave. No, so so we got an Off-White prototype on the way, but I'm gonna be honest. The Off-White is for D'Lo and KC, not necessarily for Off-White off night. We're working on something separate for off night Off-White. But let me rephrase this.
Combo.
Let me rephrase this. We have a Virgil Abloh tribute coming to DeLoandKC.com. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Right. There it is.
To answer your question, I've been okay with them. I've been fine with them. I kind of look at Donte as a guy that I want to stick around regardless. I think you can get him for a good deal, good price, good length of the contract. And I say that expecting him to be better next year. It's been a clunky year for him, trying to come back from the injury, getting COVID. You know, it's been a rough year. I don't think we see everything that DiVincenzo can be this year. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see him help, getting closer to that. And I would look to have him next year and get maybe a full Donte DiVincenzo experience. But he's been okay. He hasn't blown me away. He hasn't, disappointed me. He's been okay.
He has a qualifying offer next year of 6.6. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
I am too, for the record. I am too. More than anything, I just want to see what you were just talking about right there. I want to see the full Donte DiVincenzo. Like I want to see him. It's tough, man, when that injury being a little bit worse than it's tough when your doctor gives you that pre-prognosis before they go in, so to speak, and then they get in there and they're like, uh-oh. All right, this is way worse than we thought. We're here. We got to fix it. We'll tell you about it when we wake you up. But I can't remember who it was, man. It might have been Stoudemire. I can't remember. Someone went in for a scope. Remember when someone went in? Truth be told, it might have been Rebecca Brunson here in Sacramento. Someone went in for a scope, and they were like, yeah, this ain't a scope. We're doing microfracture while we're here. We need to get this done. So you go to sleep thinking you're out. 4 to 6 weeks, they can tell you could come back from a scope, and that's debatable, but that's fine. To all of a sudden, especially back then, well, you out for a year, like not a season. You out for 12 months.
That's tough.
And that's essentially what happened with. Now that's an extreme example of what happened to Donte DiVincenzo, but they told him something. All right, here's what we can do. Here's what we're going to work on. They get in there like, oh wait, this is jacked up. We're here. Let's fix it. Let's get you on the road to recovery. Right. And that road to recovery was, significantly slower than he expected.
Right. And, for all the athletes out there that know, and Damon, you would know this as well. There's a difference between being able to play and then feeling like yourself.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
He's out there. He's able to play. He's able to be productive, but I'm sure he doesn't feel like he did 100% like he did before the injury. And that usually takes some time. You know what I mean? And he's getting this on the fly. Like he's trying to play catch up, and I'm sure if we ask Donte, he might say he feels about 70% max of what he was. He may never be what he was, but feeling 100% confident in the body that you have now, like even if he is never what he was, he needs to adjust to what he is now. And that just isn't in sync right now. And at least I don't think it is. And I think that may take, a whole off season of working out and understanding what your limitations are, what you can do now with this ankle and things of that nature, and being able to adjust to that.
Oh, and by the way, in the midst of all of this, you're going to a new team that is desperately trying to figure out who the hell they are. So, throw all those things into a blender and go enjoy this little NBA smoothie that we just made you. Try to figure it out here for the last 20 games or so of the season. And if you're Monty McNair, I got to assume Monty McNair, he's yearned for Donte DiVincenzo now for a year plus. That qualifying offer of 6.6, I'm sure, is no big deal to him. And when they brought him in through that phenomenal trade involving the Detroit Pistons, by the way, who beat the Boston Celtics last night. So go figure. It was with the idea of, okay, he's not here for 20 games. He's here to get a feel for what we're doing. And then we can start, again, I hate this. They're falling way behind here in the play-in spot. And we're getting really close to where, for those who don't want to talk about the play-in, you're going to be very happy. We're getting really close to that point. Because just weird things are happening. Like Portland. Portland didn't get the memo. Portland don't know what time it is.
The assignment.
So they did not. They're just they're out there turning in tests, getting A's, and they just keep winning ball games. So with the way that the Kings, it's great that the Kings won, 2 straight out the gate, but Portland had also won in there. I think at that time San Antonio had won. I think the Pelicans may have won one. So nothing was really happening for the Kings after those first 2 games, but Portland kept winning. The Kings kept losing. Now there's some space being created there, and I don't know if that will allow them to play freer. I don't know if that sets their mind. I don't know if at any point players stop thinking about play-ins, playoffs, streaks, Sacramento, those types of things, or if they're already just locked in on, guys, we've got to get better. We saw high quality performances from our 2 best players last night in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. So now we've got to we've got to figure out how to get clicking. So when those two go for a combined 55, it can't be in a loss.
Right. They have to, in my opinion, and I think they will. I don't think this is an issue, but I think they've got to. They just got to keep playing, keep looking to play good basketball, win the game that's right there in front of you, and see where that takes you. Because I'm not a big believer that this Portland thing is going to last. Like, they're playing well right now, but they're the team that's in the 10th spot. They'll come back to you. Like, if you take care of what you're going to do, they'll come back to you. And if they don't, hey, tip your hat to them. But they'll come back to you. But you got to be prepared for when they come back to you. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're messing around and you weren't locked in and you weren't focused, you weren't winning games, when they slide back to the pack and you're not ready, you're not going to have no games to be gained in that situation. Yeah. So take care of your business coming out of the break. You got 2 tough games against Denver, understandably so. Mm-hmm. But try and do something. Try and do something right there. And I think they can still have a shot, but like you said, it's looking bleak, and I ain't talking Memphis because it's the numbers are not in their favor right now with where they're falling behind here. They're 3.5 games back of the 10th spot with 2 teams in front of them, not including Portland.
That's right.
So they're gonna have to get relatively hot in a hurry.
You said it looks bleak. You're not talking about Memphis. Justin Holiday, he was talking about the perception on Kings culture last night following the game.
Yeah, no, these guys want to win. Again, I'm enjoying playing basketball with them. Actually having fun. Even in some of these losses, it's like I'm actually out here having a good time. We're communicating with one another. Yeah, we might make a few mistakes here and there, but these guys actually want to win. The coaches that we have in place are guys that understand the game, put a good scout together. So yeah, I know that stigma or whatever is out there, but being here with this team, that's not what this organization is about. They want to win, and that's what we're trying to do. Turn this thing around and do something special.
Justin Holiday, right there, following the game last night. I know we mentioned him. You mentioned the shooting numbers. He did finish with 18 last night. A very Buddy Hield stat line, as you mentioned. 6 of 12 from the field, 6 of 11 from 3. Maybe it's the position. Maybe it's not Buddy. It's just
well, who would it be then? Who is that? Is that the ghost of Marcus Thornton?
No, it's the ghost of Buddy Hield, but maybe it's just the position like that. No, that's just going to linger inside.
I thought you were trying. Well, starting now, I thought you were saying maybe the position.
I ain't never paid attention to it before I saw Buddy's numbers.
I'll say maybe that's what got Buddy. Maybe Buddy isn't Buddy. The position took over Buddy's soul, like the 6th man, and just had him doing these things, and it's now done that to Justin Holiday.
We're gonna have to research that, and by we I mean Will Z. Will Z is
Martin. Is it Marcus Thornton?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't ever remember paying attention to it before Buddy. So I don't know, but the fact that it was 12 field goal attempts, 11 3-point attempts, that's funny. Like, I ain't even mad at that's funny. Like, all right, so we just got Buddy Holiday. All right, like that's fine. Like that's cool. I think Justin Holiday is a significant, and that's only in terms of his shooting. Like at some point we're going to call him elite here, and we're going to say, since February 16th, Justin Holiday has hit more threes than
Justin Holiday and Steph graphics.
There it is. Let's go. That was the first graphic the Pacers put up about Buddy. I thought, there he is. There's that Steph graphic, Buddy in the Pacers uniform. I'm with it.
Nah, he by the way, I like Marcus Thornton. I really like Marcus Thornton. But yeah,
I like Justin Holiday. By the way.
I do too. I just want to see him attack a little bit more. But even then, that wasn't the issue last night. I mean, what they went 40, 50, 90 last night?
Yeah.
As a team?
Yeah. So, well, yes, they did.
So, yeah.
The problem is Chicago did too.
Yeah. The offensive end was not the issue last night.
Yeah.
Defense or lack thereof was a huge problem. And that's what did him in. And we can talk about DeMar DeRozan, who continued to play fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I like this guy. But, man, Kobe White going for 31, not 21. Mm-hmm. Not 21, 31 for Kobe White. That's a tough pill to swallow. The Bulls didn't do anything off the bench.
They didn't. No, they were gone. It was like 8 points off the bench.
Yeah.
They had nothing. Yeah, they had nothing. They were killed. They were killed by the starters. The three-headed monster there with Big Vucevic. Yeah, they just the Kings couldn't stop anything.
Yeah.
Which is this isn't a rerun. This is a new episode of D-Lo and Casey. I assure you. 916-349-1320. Let's get our man Jacob in here. Jacob, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to say I hope that you guys and all the Kings fans out there aren't expecting Sabonis to just come in and single-handedly dig us out of the hole that the previous roster dug. There isn't enough games left, in my opinion. Monty even made it clear it's not just about this year. It's about, next year, making moves in the offseason. If we make the play-in, damn, that's awesome. But, I just want to say temper your expectations. I've been very vocal about how glad I am that we got Sabonis, but, don't expect the play-in.
All right, Jacob. Well, yeah, that's
not to be Debbie.
For me, it's the same story that it's been all year. It's not just the play-in. The story of this play-in isn't just about the Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about who wins it. It's about who loses it. It's about how bad the bottom of the Western Conference is.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this is the part that bothers me the most. It's less the play-in and more that the conference is this bad. And we're already talking about the Kings being out of the 10th spot, not the 8th. Talking about them being out of the 10th spot. So you got a terrible, terrible conference in which the Kings are like, ha, 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 watch us be terrible-er. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. That's the frustrating part with me. It's less about, earning this spot, getting to the play. The other thing, too, that sits in the back of my mind, they got a good win, a hard-fought win yesterday, thanks to the King. But the Lakers? Are you telling me the Kings get to the 10th spot? They can't beat the Lakers?
All right.
So,
again.
I'm with Jacob right there. I have no expectations of this team getting there. I want to see them win. If they win, play well through this last stretch of basketball, 22 games of basketball, and miss the play-in because Portland and or San Antonio and or New Orleans played well also, I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. All I care about is the way that this team plays the rest of the season.
And that's what matters the most. And even if they play well and miss the play-in, not because, other teams are playing well, I would look at it more so as, it's just too late in the season.
Yeah.
This is a completely different squad from what got you in the 12th spot to begin with, right? That squad got you in the 12th spot. If this team was here for a whole year, maybe you wouldn't be there, and we'd have to find that out next year.
Yeah.
But,
stop right there. Did we say that last year?
And I think it was right last year. I think it was factual.
But we started this season with that team, didn't we?
We didn't have DeLon Wright, who we missed. Who back there? Mo Harkless was on
TD?
There. TD was on there. TD struggled really bad to start. But then you have this little weird situation. And so it's like this. It's like we said that last year, and this is what it would be like for next year. It'd be like, you got DiVincenzo. I won't put Sabonis in there, but you got DiVincenzo, you got Justin Holiday, and, you got, we'll just say, I don't know, Jeremy Lamb. We'll just put him in there, even though he's not really playing. Trey Lyles, right? You got these guys, and, you played well down the stretch, did better. Then they trade Trey Lyles, and then next year, they don't ever play DiVincenzo or Justin Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, well, these guys helped you down the stretch. Why aren't they playing? Because Freeport's still here? Because Richaun's still here? I'm just using it we said this last year, and the guys that helped them and helped us feel that way, they didn't even play. Or they played Mo at the beginning of the season and then just took him out
all of a sudden,
for no reason.
Yeah.
Terrence Davis didn't get an opportunity to play. When he played well. Team played well.
It feels like they went into this offseason with an idea and then just executed it terribly when the season started. And I don't know if that's on Monty, Luke, the players. I don't know who that's on. But you walked into the season like, wait a minute, like, damn, DNP CD for Mo, huh? Oh, okay, like, well, what the hell was the point then?
Right. Yeah. Like I said, you move on from DeLon, you turn him into Tristan, which I'm not gonna act crazy. Tristan had some decent moments in the beginning of the season, like on the court. He was getting double doubles, he was playing tough, but he didn't net you back. The impact of Tristan Thompson was not the same that DeLon Wright had last year. Like DeLon Wright had a winning impact on this team down the stretch. Tristan Thompson, even though he played solid at times at the beginning of the season, I don't think he was. There was games he didn't even play. Like it was the Alex Lynn game.
It was it was or
right.
It wasn't and it was or Tristan or Alex.
Yeah, I think
Alex Lynn is still on the roster, by the way, for those who are wondering.
Well,
He's still here.
Jones is too.
Well, that's all right. Well, that's a conversation we have to have. So we most definitely will. Do want to mention this. Shout out to Deuce Mason, who threw this stat out on the Deuce and Mo podcast night chat last night, or for your boy, morning chat. The Kings' defensive rating in the month of February is up to 17th. So I know why. I know, obviously, especially after last night. A very good Chicago Bulls team, by the way. This wasn't the Orlando Magic that did this against the Sacramento Kings that last night. That did the 50-40-90 gimmick. This was the top team in the Eastern Conference. That is significant improvement. You're up 17th, over this month. That is a significant improvement over where they have been this year, the last 2 years, probably the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
That 17 spot. Can they maintain it when they return from the break? And they've got Denver coming up, and they hit the road again for a stretch of basketball away from Sacramento. Like, can they continue that the defensive effort they're putting out? I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting note, giving defense as a topic of what we're talking about here today. That they are better than what they were before.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I know with the naked eye, I see a little more activity, but the results are still the same. Like, too many times other wing players are just kind of getting into the lane, no resistance, being able to do what they want. Once again, you're going up against a Chicago team that is the number one team in the East. So, they get paid too. They got some ball players too. They're going to do that from time to time. But I just still see that a little too much for my liking. We saw it against Brooklyn. Easy shots, easy looks. First half against Washington, saw that. I want to see them lock down a little bit more on the perimeter than what I have seen this month.
And you think they're just one player away from being better defensively?
Yeah, I do.
Do you regret saying that? Do you want to change your mind? Would you like a mulligan?
Because so I said the player may already be on the roster, and he might be. They need it from that shooting guard position, though. They need it from one of the guards, and I'm gonna stall out De'Aaron or not really believe that he should be the one to have it all on his head defensively to stop this. So that's why I'm going to say the shooting guard position. And I don't know if that means DiVincenzo going into the starting lineup or what, but they need more resistance on the perimeter defensively.
Would the game have been different last night if Davion played?
Maybe because Davion might be locked up against Kobe White a little bit.
That's yeah, because we spent so much time talking about DeMar DeRozan and Davion's. That's not an ideal situation for him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe White, on the other hand, maybe it very well was. Well, since we're having uncomfortable conversations,
Mm.
we need to talk about Richaun Holmes. So we'll do that. We'll talk about what went on with him last night, why my concern radar went higher than it had been in previous days, and what may be able to work for him over the course of the next week and some change. So we'll dive into that as well. Phone line's still open for you. As always, they will be all day. 916-349-1320. It's Dealer 1KC here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320. I mean, Miss P, what's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah. Shot pretty well last night, though. Shot pretty well.
Who did?
Yeah, the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. I think you're right, Sean. And I think you're right too, the baby daddy. Holmes is in fact going through it. I feel like it's Cosby, right? Isn't that what the name of it is? We need to talk about Cosby.
We need to talk about Cosby. Yeah.
I was about to start that. Was it last night? I was about to start that recently, and I was just like, I don't think I'm in the mood for that one.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to it since I started it about a week ago.
Oh man,
For no particular reason.
Is this true?
Basketball.
Can you? Is that true?
Oh, come on! I haven't seen it.
I hope not.
But take down my post. If it is, come on.
I believe you. I hate that. Like I hate that.
Don't do that. He don't need that. He don't need
Louis the King, NBA, young Kobe. What you doing?
NBA young Kobe.
Louis the King.
I don't know what's gotten into NBA young Kobe. He used to have good takes. He's struggling like Richaun right now.
Oh man.
We're gonna keep playing you, that young Kobe.
Ask and you shall receive.
Okay, Lake Show.
I don't know why, but
where did that come from?
I don't know. Hey, man, I'm a DJ at heart. We play the hits. There you go.
Who said that?
Wait a minute. Hey, everybody.
Hey man, I won't mention this guy's name. I'll give him his initials. OJS.
All right, thank you.
Yes, first of all, I wasn't done, Damien.
Oh.
All right, Jasmine.
Was he Summer League Finals MVP? Maybe so.
No, that was Davion. Wasn't Davion Summer? I thought Davion was Summer League MVP.
I don't know. Maybe young Kobe is right. I don't remember. I can't say one way or the other.
I thought for sure it was Davion, but
what, Gabriel? What?
Oh, is that true?
No.
Staples Center vibes.
Figueroa vibes.
He did call it. He did. Lie. That's true. I was there.
That is a lie.
I was there when they cut the purple and gold ribbon. Yep. Well, I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't invited, but I saw it on Instagram. Yeah, this might be this will be a topic of conversation tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't pull the trigger on it last night, and it turns out that was a mistake. So, all right, I'm on it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
No, yeah, sure. Like I don't
in a pinch, I guess.
I don't yearn for it, but a little DiGiorno, it's fine.
I feel like it's not really pizza. It's like a different meal.
California pizza in general are just fire. I haven't had them in a long time though.
Me either. I used to be a regular.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue chicken pizza.
That's funny, Ramsey.
That is good. You said you got one of the frozen ones. That's your lunch today? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like bacon on my pizza.
Not with pineapple though, right?
Pineapple kind of fire. Like I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, I gotta have pineapple on my pizza. But when it's on there, I'm like, that's pretty good. It is
I
pretty good.
love pineapple. I just do not want it there.
Mm.
Odyssey app along with Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, 1320 a.m. Many ways to consume D'Lo and KC here in the year 2022. We're so happy that you're here with us. You want to be a part of the conversation. You could jump into the Chatty House on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, or you could hit us up on the phone lines, 916-349-1320.
Our guy Lee, he says, I hear KC is filling in for Mo soon. A little cross-platform love over there too. Absolutely. There's going to be a couple of days where Mo now for the night chat has told Deuce, you can't afford me. So find somebody else to fill in for these days. She was talking to Deuce like Luca. She's like, I won't be here on these days with these peasants. So yeah, I'm filling in a couple of days. A couple of night chats.
Wait, word?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, good for you.
The dates
I'll be asleep.
March 1st, March 8th or something like that. Two
right.
days. When, in all honesty, Morgan is just running wild on the world. Just doesn't have time.
Morgan Mania is running. I don't know how Morgan does it now. Like a girl doing the podcast from the phone, trying to race back to the Deuce and Mo podcast studios, and I caught, first thing I hear, Deuce is explaining how Bojack brought a rat into the house. Or mouse. Sorry, that's Cap. That one of the dogs killed a mouse and brought, I guess brought it to Deuce as a prize. Like, hey, look what I did.
I mean, they're just doing what they can, but we'd have to have a stern talk at that point.
You and the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't be bringing no mouse.
I've had many stern talks with Sprout. She just smiles and nods her head and goes on about her business. Like, Sprout ain't listened to me a day in her 8 years on this planet. Like, I assure you. And bringing a mouse into the house is far better than what Sprout once did at the house in Connecticut. So we'll leave it at that. Oh, that was
Sprout who brought what was it, squirrel's head, rabbit head?
It was okay. I just want to be clear. First of all, my beloved puppy did not rip off the head of a rabbit. And I can't remember this type of cat for the life of me, but I saw it one time in the middle of the day, and it was one of the scariest things I had ever seen. But we lived, so our backyard backed up, like there were trees. It was like our backyard backed up to like trees, and it almost looked like forest, but it wasn't very far because there was a house like right behind those trees. But you would often see, like one day I heard like pounding. Deer came running through. Like, this is Connecticut. It is a different world.
Jeez. Yeah.
So there had been, and the only reason I know that there had been, like, the Glastonbury Times or whatever, like this newspaper that gets thrown into your mailbox, had talked about a yellow lab that it lived, but it got roughed up and cut up pretty bad by some sort of, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's some sort of like cat. And so we knew that cat was lingering around the neighborhood. Well, one day I was gone. I don't know if I was in California or where I was, but I got a panicked phone call that says, your dog just brought a rabbit's head to the patio door. Like, okay, I'm going to need more of an explanation here. Where's the body? Like, I don't know. She went out to the forest. She brought back this rabbit head. Come get it. I was like, okay, dude, I can't, but if you want to leave it there, leave it there. I'll deal with it when I get back. And sure enough, there was a rabbit's head there.
Ooh.
But so like maybe 2 days later, I was working in the front office, and the door we had there had glass on it. It was so like you could see out, and Smoothie used to lay there, and she started growling like violently, like danger is imminent. Like, she doesn't do that very often. So I went and looked at her, and normally when she's growling at the door, I just open it and say, baby, there's nothing out there. So I unlock the door and look outside, and there is this black creature walking across our courtyard. And I'm like, oh, God. Lock the door again as if the cat's going to come open the door. And I watched this thing walk across the street. It had this, it was the, whatever that cat was that had been in the newspaper tearing up animals.
Wow. See,
Made me appreciate Sacramento more.
I don't do all that. I don't like all that.
They don't have those in the hills of Elk Grove where Kenny lives. But in Glastonbury, Connecticut, they had them joints, man.
Matter of fact, I'm glad I don't live in the hills because that's probably where those things would be.
Yeah, that was
nasty.
frightening.
I saw a video the other day of kind of the same situation, almost like it was a baby, not Sprout, but the baby was like laying on the ground, and she was like started to cry a little bit and was looking out of a glass window. And all of a sudden, it does that for like 10 seconds. All of a sudden, it was, I think it was too skinny to be a leopard. I think it was a cheetah. Cheetah just comes and bangs its head on the sliding glass door. And like walks away, and you see the tail. It's like, what? I don't know what I would do. I'd never go back outside.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about ever going outside again. Once I saw that freaking cat.
Real quick before we get
and then I promptly moved to California. That's how the story ended. I moved back to California.
Before we get back to sports, I used to work at a middle school out in Tustin, California, on the OC, and it was kind of up on a hill. There was some hills around it or whatever. And I was like the campus supervisor for there. They're like, yeah, sometimes every now and then, especially in the mornings, there'll be a coyote on campus. And, you just got to go out there, make sure it doesn't get closer and attack it. Be careful, but you're not doing anything to it, but just monitor it. And I was like, you can put that in the job description if you want to. There's a coyote out there. Please believe I'm going to be locked up in somebody's office. You can put that in the description if you want.
So
what's really going to happen.
People keep asking if it's a bobcat. It wasn't a bobcat. So I just searched vicious cat. Vicious cat attacks animal, Glastonbury, Connecticut, and I found it.
Uh-oh.
Look this up. It is terrifying. It's a Fisher cat. That's what it's called. It's called a Fisher cat, and this thing is the devil. Look it up. And it's not even like giant. It's not super big. It is a freakishly violent animal. It's called a Fisher cat. Look it up. You're welcome.
Beware the Fisher cat.
That's it. That's the article. That's it. Glastonbury thing is an assassin.
Gosh.
That's what it is. And what I saw was that tail, and it turned around and it looked at us. I was like, "Hey, fam, it's your house now. Hey, look, I'm packing. I'm putting the dogs in the Prius. I'm out."
Damien looked at the cat and said, "No." You got some of this too, old man.
No mas. It's your house. Like I'll leave. Just minding my own business.
Yeah,
That's
that thing looks like it's going. It looks like a Wolverine.
See, thing was out there trying to eat animals, trying to kill Smoothie and Sprout. And
First sentence, something evil is lurking in the woods of Connecticut these days.
Mm-hmm. And the woods were the back of D'Lo's house.
Oh my gosh. I don't want none of them problems.
Oh,
another
man.
thing that says 3 dangerous animals that can be found in Connecticut. We're just going down a rabbit hole now. But.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's focus. Let's regroup here, and we'll tell you. You're listening to D'Lo and KC on ESPN 1320, KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, and Odyssey Station, and driven by last year's Elk Grove Dodge. I'm gonna have nightmares about this goddamn cat again. Like I just like now that I found the picture. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares about this joint. Goodness gracious, man. One thing opposing. One one thing that opposing teams are not going to have a nightmare about is Richaun Holmes. Richaun Holmes does not enlist the fear of a Fisher cat into his opponents. I know we've been, watching Richaun like, okay, he isn't in that groove. He isn't in that flow. He's going through some transitions. We know he's going through some personal issues that his, mom tweeted about. And Sabonis is here. His position on the team has changed. Tyrese Halliburton, a guy who it feels like he had great chemistry with, is gone. And it's like, all right, he'll play through this. He'll figure it out. Man, I don't want to say I'm losing confidence in that, but there was one particular play last night. There were a couple, but there's one that really stands out, and I know everybody will remember it. De'Aaron hit the baseline and drew the defender over to him and did this beautiful little wraparound where he dropped the ball, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, right in Rashawn's breadbasket.
The breadbasket.
Right there, where it promptly fell out of his hands, hit his foot, rolled, got picked up by the Chicago Bulls, led to 2 points the other way. And that was the first time that I thought, I don't know what's going on with Richaun Holmes, but now it's hurting the team. It's different than not playing well. It's different than not finding your footed. He's now him being on the floor appears to be a bit problematic. Because whatever his disconnect is, whatever he's working through, and God bless him, I hope he gets through it. Whatever he's working through, and if you don't know the play I'm talking about, it's worth going to. It's right there for him, and the camera caught it just for a split second. I said this to you this morning. You could see it as the because it started a fast break. Richaun got that buddy look from De'Aaron. He kind of looked at him like, "You've got to be kidding me. I can't put you in a better position than I just did." And the ball goes rolling. At the time, I think it was either a 3-point game or a 5-point game. So it became 5 or it became 7 after that, and it was like, man. Okay. All right. We got to talk.
So this is a tough spot for Alvin Gentry and being the coach, because there's obviously a level of loyalty, and rightfully so, to Richaun Holmes. You've seen what he's able to do when he's right. But at what point does your loyalty not match up with your responsibility to the rest of the guys on the roster? Everybody else is trying to win. Not that he's not that Rashawn's not. I'm not saying that, but they're trying to win. And what that means is you've got to give them the best opportunity to win. And when does it get to the point where having Richaun Holmes out there does not give you the best opportunity to win? Are we there now? Do you still give him time coming out of the All-Star break? How much time? I got to be honest with you. With me, yes, I'd give him time coming out of All-Star break. The leash would be extremely short. Like it would be really short. This is a sprint now. The Kings are trying to do something here to close the season. No games can be wasted. No games can be experimented with. And it's tough. It's a tough decision. Like I said, for a guy like Alvin Gentry, who I'm sure loves Richaun Holmes, has been around him for the last 2 years, sees what he can do when he's right. It says, man, if we could just get that guy back in there, he would be the best option for us to win. But I don't know if that guy's coming back this season. And I mentioned to you, Damian, it's not like, all due respect to this guy, it's not like there's just Alex Len behind Richaun Holmes, where it's like, Rashawn's not playing well, but I mean, what is Len going to give you right now? He's going to give you about the same. No, you got a guy that you're giving DMPs to that produced pretty much every time he stepped on the floor this year, in Damian Jones. And it's like, well, man, I'm keeping this guy on the bench, hoping that Holmes turns it around. He's not. and I got a guy that has proven himself this year and deserves this opportunity, just kind of sitting there.
But, and I'm not gonna argue that, because Richaun Holmes is playing bad enough that the measurement is a little bit different here. But is Damian Jones played like that well? Like, are you that enamored with him? Like, has he? Richaun won his job. He took Dwayne Dedmon's job. Are we at the point? Like, are you willing to say Damian Jones has taken Richaun Holmes' job?
Man,
This current incarnation of Richaun Holmes, are you willing to say Damian Jones has taken that job from him?
I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. Because like I said,
I agree.
If I'm
but these are the
Alvin
decisions
Gentry,
Alvin had. That's right.
Just watching this team
decisions
on
he
a
has to
nightly
make.
basis. Like I still want to give Richaun, an opportunity. It's almost like I reference this a lot, but I feel like we're almost going to get in little big league territory where Richaun is going to come out. De'Aaron's going to give him a nice low pass. Rashawn's going to get it, two-hand jam. We're like, there we go. See, I told you he still had it. I told you.
And then what? And then what happens? Finish your stupid movie
We're
comparison.
going to be like, we're getting excited for a random two-hand jam now.
Well, so the difference between now, I don't have the same recollection to this movie as you do, but if I recall, your boy in the movie was older,
yeah,
and had been headed downhill.
Yeah.
That's not Richaun.
Right.
Richaun is in a funk. But I think the problem is Richaun has essentially been in a season-long funk.
Yeah,
and
this though.
No, absolutely not like this. But look how much has changed, though. He's been in a funk all year, and we have put it on multiple eye scratches, multiple, trips to, just not playing, being out with an injury. Then you've got health and safety protocol lists that you're on, and you're just missing large chunks of basketball, kind of one after the other. But leading into the season, or coming out, the start of the season, we were like, oh, okay, not quite in that groove yet. And all it is speculation. We speculated back then, while Richaun Holmes very much received life-changing money this year, this offseason. I don't think he received what he thought he was. And I don't know if that's far less of a blow to your bank account, given the numbers that were put out there by his agent or by his team. I don't know how real they believe that was, as much as they were trying to hopes of influencing the market a little bit. Because if I recall right, I think he was seeking 80, which I think we all kind of was like, hey, good luck wherever you land. Making 80, get that bag. If someone offers you 20 for 4, take it, love it. You earned it. Ain't gonna be here, but take it. And we kind of looked around like, who's that gonna be? It was nobody.
Yeah.
He signed for half of that. And as much, again, obviously it's a blow to your bank account. He ain't gonna starve. He ain't gonna be, he could keep the lights on. He could take care of a lot of people with that money. But that's a blow to your ego, though. Like, yo, look at what I just did for the last 2 years. Look at how I work. Like, I pulled myself up. I took a job from a dude who was off, who made what, 40 some odd $1 million. I took his job on the 4th game of the season and have busted my ass for the last 2 years and didn't quite get rewarded what I thought I would get rewarded.
Yeah. It's tough. We talked about it at the beginning of the season, like seeing him in the media days and the first days of training camp. We remember we were asking, is everything all right with Richaun? Like, he seems a little off. He didn't play well to like maybe the 3rd preseason game, and then then he got a groove there or whatever. The question I think moving forward is, how long do you give him to try and play out of this?
Yeah.
And I'm still in a position, I don't know. I'm just still in a position where, I trust Richaun. I trust what he can be and what I think he is as a player. And I'd give him an opportunity to work through this, but I mean, it's almost got to happen immediately out of the break.
Is that Alvin Gentry's most important assignment, if you will, this week? He stated last night, league won't let them practice. I think it's not until Tuesday. Yeah. So I think what I heard, they could have a practice Tuesday night. Then again, Wednesday, they'll take on the Denver Nuggets at the Golden One Center on Thursday. But De'Aaron is in a good rhythm right now. De'Aaron is in arguably the best rhythm he's been in all season. Domantas Sabonis is, he obviously it's going to be 22 games of him finding his footing, but he kind of had, he had a good start. He had that down game in which he seemed to respond to very well last night, the game against Brooklyn, where he was like, okay, I know there's more I have to do. I can't be that passive. I think he did a great job of kind of reversing that last night. There's not a lot Alvin has to do in terms of those two players.
Right.
But getting the combination of Donte DiVincenzo and Davion Mitchell locked down, figuring out how you're going to do that. What does Justin Holiday mean for all of this? And how can you get Richaun Holmes out of this funk?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what it is. I'm sure they've talked. So conversation probably has already been had, or maybe they need to have another one to just kind of get on the same page, just figure out what the game plan is to get them going. But I hear a lot of people in here talking about, how Tyrese Halliburton, him being gone, has affected Richaun Holmes, and Tyrese knew how to get him the ball. And you're correct in saying that, but Richaun Holmes was playing well the year before Tyrese Halliburton was even drafted. Like, he was able to be effective and do things before Tyrese even got here. And now he's completely ineffective. So, I mean, I just don't think he's playing his game. And his game a lot of his game wasn't, like, in my opinion, wasn't finding ways to get him the ball. His effectiveness was getting, for a lack of a better term, getting the scraps and turning that into something, getting on the boards, getting offensive rebounds, second, third chances on the offensive end because of hustle plays. And I don't know if it's because Tyrese, I don't know if it's because people are game planning for that more and more conscious of it, but he hasn't been able to get back to that. And that's more concerning than him not catching alley-oops because Tyrese isn't here. He's ineffective everywhere else.
The year that Richaun Holmes took the starting job from Dwayne Dedman, he had 15 games where he scored in single digits. That was he missed time that year. It was also a 72-game season. Last year.
And he didn't start.
Missed time. That's what for a couple games.
5-6 games or so.
Yeah. Last 72-game season, missed time with injuries, 10 games where he didn't score in double digits. We just finished, game 60? Richaun has missed a ton of time this year. 19 games that he has not finished with double-digit points. Like that, it's a steep struggle. Like, he's just, I think he had, looking here, let's see if I can get this back going, set up properly. Yeah, he scored 21 and 11 that first night against Portland. Everything was good in that first night against Portland. De'Aaron, Richaun, everything was good. And it promptly fell off. The next game he had 6. And then he regrouped. He regrouped quite a bit offensively, rebounding wise. He had a 23-20 game in there somewhere. And then it really started to change after it changed a lot. In fact, it would be irresponsible to not acknowledge it changed after the first eye injury. Everything changed after that. He missed 3 games, came back, had 27, 16, and then it all went to hell after that. He scored 1 point in 27 minutes, 4 points in 10 minutes. That was the second scratch to the eye. Missed a ton of games, came back 4, 0, 9, 8, 11. then missed a ton of games. I think that's when he was on the health and safety protocol list, and then he's never. He hasn't gotten back on track. That was January 16th that he came back. He hasn't gotten back on track.
It's tough, man.
It is.
It is. They there's I don't know if you deal them in the summer. Maybe there's somebody that you could put in a trade package for.
You got someone in mind? I feel like you're teasing something. You got something in mind?
Got a little something in mind.
All right.
I got a little something in mind.
All right. We'll
I'm
find
ask
out.
the people what they think about it. That's all. I don't know what I would do. I'm just saying. I'm going to ask the people.
Kenny Caraway's latest epiphany coming up next here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
Crazy.
Yeah, not my bag. Not my job. Sacktown Tony. Holmes and a first for Steph. Who says no? Come on, Tony. We don't need another guard. Knock it off.
The Kings say no.
Uh-oh. I got Dave on VIP alert, so his emails pop up with a quickness. Ooh. Okay.
Hey now.
Okay.
Cole, I think I don't know. Let me see. I think it's IMK Diddy. No, it's Kenny C. Kenny space C. You better be a good partner too, Cole. We don't have time for no nonsense. Don't be playing around. No, I'm not no spades Wiz. I think I'm pretty good at it, but I ain't no Wiz just yet.
We'll talk about this, Anthony. I think that's a little overblown. Dave Garcia Designs. That's who. Dave Garcia Designs. I don't know what you're referring to, Dr. David. Yeah, I gotta see if that other. So one of the ideas I had is I took the Las Vegas logo, the Black Bottles logo, and instead of having it printed, I'm having it's embroidered, so it's just going to look a little cleaner. I think it's going to look cleaner. I'm waiting for that to be delivered, because if it looks like I hope it looks, that's what I want to do with what Dave just sent us. Because it can't be a big thing on a sweatshirt. Like it won't work. It's got to be up here. It's got to be in the corner. It's got to be the small little patch in the corner.
Right.
So Dave Garcia did create a Missionary Barnes design. I didn't do you okay, here's a question, since the people watching are the most, you guys are the ones who are on the website. You're the ones who ride with us the hardest. Do you want us to make more Kings merchandise, like less kind of less D'Lo and KC stuff, and more, or maybe not less D'Lo and KC stuff, but more like a mix of, we did I think Donnie did the old school Kings logo. Dave did the Monarchs logo. Like, would you guys dig more stuff like that? Even like we now have an off-white design. Like, would you dig stuff like that? Would you like more stuff like that on the website? Because we can't put the Kings logo on it.
Right.
So, it would kind of like be, it would kind of like be our, it would be a nod to the show, right? Like it would, the Kings designs, the off-white designs would be a nod to our show. So with a couple notable exceptions, we didn't do a lot of, we stayed away from that stuff, but we put that stuff on the Dope Ones website for a variety of reasons. But we can get creative with what we do here. And Dave sent us some some creative stuff. I like this. I don't know if Dave Garcia, I don't know if you're watching. I like this a lot. I like this a lot.
I mean, let me see what you're talking about, man. Let me see what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll forward. I think if I forward this to you, you should get all. So I'm sending it. Okay. I think this so I just sent you the off-white Donte DiVincenzo idea, and the D'Lo and Casey idea is it's essentially the same. There are some slight changes to it, but
that's pretty cool.
so I sent Dave, like, I was like, here's the idea. Like, what do you think? And that, I mean, he pulled that up in no time.
That's pretty cool.
Odyssey, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live. Man, when you watch, you make decisions. We're a committee over there on the live stream. Twitch.tv/ESPN1320, YouTube.com/ESPN1320. And like us on Facebook, even if you don't like Facebook. Like ESPN.
Facebook coming back.
No, I don't think it is.
Well, it is.
At least not in our community.
I mean, with your new purchase.
So I'm going to be real.
It taps into that.
I did not know that was a Facebook thing until I went to, because I didn't have a lot of time. First of all, dear Best Buy, change your freaking hours. I was roaming around, like I went and got a couple of things done before the show started. I was like,
8 o'clock.
I was like, yo, I got a minute. Let me stop right here. I got a minute. And there's like a line of people outside. I'm like, wait, what is going on? And I'm looking, and I go to the app, and it says Best Buy opens at 11. Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Well,
and it closes at 7. Like, what are y'all doing?
What?
So I was like, all right, I have been, because my partner peer pressured me into this Oculus thing. It's like, I'm gonna try it. I think there's some really dope. Like, we had the idea of, like, if you have an Oculus, like, we'll all go to the game together.
Yeah,
it might be Orlando versus Detroit, but we could all hang out together. And so it was like, all right, I'm going to try it. And I already have it in the back of my head, like, I'm probably going to take this thing back. It's like, I want to mess around with it after happy hour tonight with James and Jerry. So I'm open it up and plugging it in. And as I'm opening it, I see Facebook on here. What the hell is this? I had no idea that was a Facebook device.
I didn't either. Before.
Now I feel like everything I do is going to get broadcast on the internet.
It already is.
That's facts. So I don't know what my problem is. Everything I do is going to be broadcast on the internet, he says, as his radio show is being broadcasted on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook.
I didn't know it either when we got it, but I was like, well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
We're live, pal.
No news. So yeah, we're gonna do that for everybody that has an Oculus. Schedule providing that we can do it. We'll all go into the next live courtside NBA game.
Did you do the WWE thing that we talked about that day?
No, I missed it. And that's the thing that kills me about this thing is you can't, for those live events, once you miss it, it's gone. You can't go back and relive it. That sucks. Although every night they have Snoop Dogg being a DJ. That is on every night.
I can't wait to see what this thing looks like.
I think it's killer. D-Lo gonna be in the club. in the Horizon lounges, he's gonna be in the club.
I can't believe they have virtual reality clubs. That is just insane. Absolutely insane. So yeah, we'll keep keep you up to date on that type of stuff. Yeah, I promise. I'm gonna see if I can get as Danny's last order of business, as Danny in San Francisco's last order of business. I'm gonna see if we can expense these. So what are you talking about? We're using it as a way to hang out with our crew. Like, we're hanging out in Detroit together. We're going to the club with our people. What's the problem?
So look, there's a couple games, no Kings games right now on the list, but February 25th, what's that? Sometime next week, next Thursday or something like that. I don't know.
I think it's Friday because the
Friday.
yeah.
Philly, yeah, Friday because Kings won on the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Philly at Minnesota. It's a good game. That should be Harden's first game back. First game with the Sixers, maybe second.
So you could be there. You could be there virtual reality live when he pulls his hamstring again. That's exciting.
You, he's going to be perfectly fine for the rest of the season.
His hamstring is just going to magically be fine. That's spectacular.
Now, the one that is of interest is March 1st, Pistons versus Wizards. We can watch Marvin Bagley.
All right. All right. I'm down. I want to try it. I can't wait to see this thing.
And this is a true story. Jazzy 510. I was mixing at Club Vivid last week. This is a true story. She was on the ones and twos.
How does that work?
I don't know. She knows it a lot better than I do.
All right. All right. I'm with Miss P. Miss P says they should do March 10th if Ben plays in Philly. One, ain't no way Ben is playing in Philly, and I don't blame him. Two, dude, imagine if they open that up to the virtual universe and you could just be in Sacramento, California, booing like everybody else. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff. 916-349-1320 if you want to get in here and talk. Let's see. We've covered virtual reality and Fisher Cats today.
Oh,
so
man.
if there's anything that you would like to discuss, we are the show for that. And somehow we're still more focused than we were yesterday. In any event, you said you had an idea before we went to commercial break, and I assume this involves our dear friend Richaun Holmes in a potential trade proposal for him.
You labeled it an epiphany. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's epiphany,
Okay.
but I've seen this a couple of times, and the murmurs, the tweets, the blog posts, the spaces, they're getting louder.
Okay.
Especially after what happened last night. But there's people around the NBA circles who say Lakers might need to explore trading Anthony Davis. It's not going to happen. Guy stays too hurt. He's not the guy that LeBron thought he was. Like, hey, I'm going to be here for 3-4 years, then I'm going to hand it off to AD.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying the Lakers need to move on from Anthony Davis while they can. Now, Richaun Holmes, your first round pick, another player, that's probably not enough. Like Davion Mitchell, it's probably not enough, right? But
wait, stop. Time out. You're trying to get Anthony Davis to Sacramento. That was the trade proposal.
Yeah, and I want to know would the people be down for Anthony Davis in Sacramento? Seems like a no-brainer to me, but I'm pretty sure there are people who will be like, no, I don't want him. He's always hurt. Look, Rich, no. No.
Okay.
Hell no. We don't need AD.
Are we back in the virtual reality world here? Where are we right now? This was the Richaun Holmes ideas. You're trying to acquire Anthony Davis with Richaun Holmes?
And they're in your pick.
Kenny. Oh, it's
and Davion.
Sorry. And the pick. My bad. And the pick.
And Davion.
They ain't going to come on, man. They ain't going to do that. Dude, they gave up like Brandon Ingram and like
what do you think? Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you. What do you think you can get for Anthony Davis? Considering he's down again.
He is.
He makes like $40 million a year. He's down every year. And he's not that guy. What do you think you can get for Anthony Davis on the open market?
I don't know. Probably more than Richaun Holmes.
Probably. I agree.
But I have no idea what Anthony Davis's value is. Like someone mentioned earlier, and I forgot to star the tweet so we could reference it later. But they said, unfortunately, Richaun Holmes' value is going down. I think that stuff is overrated. I think we think too much about that stuff, because sure, on the surface, it seems like Richaun's value is going down, but the pitch will always be his role completely changed here. Like he dealt with, a couple of weird things, he some freak eye injuries. He went on the COVID list by the time couldn't get going. And then we just changed his complete position. Like if you're Monty McNair, there are multiple ways that you could sell it. I would try to leave out how many games he's missed over the last 3 years. I would leave that out of the pitch, but I don't know, given what the Lakers gave up for Anthony Davis.
I can guarantee you that's over. Don't even think about that. Like you can't think about what you gave up. It ain't happening. You got to try to recoup that asset. What you like, the first thing that comes to my mind is like the Warriors.
The Warriors acquiring Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm. You give him picks, you give him Wiseman and Moody. That might not even be enough. But one of the things that the Lakers seem to be a little desperate for, and this makes sense if you're the Lakers, because like this may be a more important asset than the players you get in return, is you just want him off the books. You want the money off the books, because with the Lakers and having cap space, that matters for them. May not matter for the King, but Lakers, 80 didn't work. Let's get, somebody's expiring, maybe, a young player, but we got that money off the books. This summer, we'll go get such and such, or we'll have Rich Paul look for the next guy that he wants to trade to bring here to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. If you were the Lakers, would you look?
So that's Anthony Davis. That I feel like is the bigger question. I don't think so. I don't think we're at. I mean, how long has he been there?
3 years.
COVID years. 3 years.
Yeah.
So there can't be more than 1 year left.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. He hasn't. To be honest with you, AD, aside from the COVID year, which we forget.
Which one? The first one?
The first one.
Okay.
The one where they won a championship.
Right.
I mean, there were struggles going before COVID hit. Like who knows if he would have been able to stay healthy and go through that playoffs enough to win a championship that year. The other 2 years, riddled with injuries. He's still been a great player, a great ball player, but you can't rely on him being on the floor.
37.9 next year, 40.6 the following year. Player option for 43.2 the year after that.
And when is LeBron's contract over? LeBron's over maybe 2 years from now.
Stand by. I only had Anthony Davis's open. He's an unrestricted free agent after next season. 44.4 next year. He'll be 38 at the end of that deal. I mean, I think there are two separate questions here. Should the Lakers move on from Anthony Davis? Should the Kings explore Anthony Davis? I think the Kings.
What is a no-brainer? Absolutely, the Kings should explore Anthony Davis. I don't think they have enough to get it done, but
I think what is Anthony Davis's? I mean, he's. I don't. Is he 30 yet? He's 28. He's 28 years old.
Hell yeah. Like, once again, the Kings don't have enough with like what they're willing to part with to get Anthony Davis.
He's 20.
Like Fox and Sabonis aren't in a trade. Like, you don't want to make that move.
Here's the concern.
Hell yeah, you explore that.
Here's the concern. And this is why the Lakers aren't moving on from him, in my opinion. The Lakers are not moving on from him. 23 and 9, 21-7, 26-9. Those are his numbers with the Lakers. Those aren't the issues. The production isn't the issues. They're the issue. Excuse me. The issues are he's played 37 games this year. He played 36 last year.
Damn.
He played 62 the year before. That was a 72-game season. Right. The year prior, 56, 75, 61, 68, 67, 64.
That's crazy. Those 30s that's crazy to say. Wow.
36 last year, 37 this year.
The interesting thing that like I find it like, so Gabriel, Kenny, this is a horrible idea. Take it back. I don't even know what Gabriel's referencing, because a lot of Kings fans are like, no. I think that's crazy to be like, no, I would never do it. Mind you, I'm saying, obviously, you're not giving up Fox or Sabonis. It would be to add to them.
So,
as much as he's hurt, I think it's crazy to just be like, there's no way I would trade for Anthony Davis.
So
what?
Because we're not Los Angeles, we're not the destination for free agents.
Mm.
The 37, 40, and almost certainly 43 don't bother you.
No. If you can get Anthony Davis, you just roll the dice.
But also remember, you got De'Aaron, and I assume the belief is you're going to move forward, hopefully for a long time, with Domantas Sabonis. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you, in this virtual reality world that I guess we just decided to stay in after talking about the Oculus, is you can't be wrong. Because of what you're like right now. It doesn't seem like, okay, it's all right. If you're wrong, you're wrong, like whatever. But if you're wrong with De'Aaron under the contract that he's under, and what we think the contract Domantas Sabonis will get, yo, this is unless you're like, yo, this wins us a championship. You can't miss. You can't.
Well,
and I don't mean KC. You can't miss. I mean, no, you cannot miss here. You can't be wrong, because it'll just handicap you for.
Like I get what you're saying. Championship or bust. I mean, that's like, if he got you to Sacramento, if he got you to 3 years at the second round of the playoffs or the Western Conference Finals, it's a success.
But is that good? And yes, I think initially it is. But is it enough of a success to be? This isn't a question, by the way, for you and me to answer, or anyone in the chat house or anyone listening. This is a question for Vivek Ranadive to answer. Are you first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs, you willing to start paying repeat offender luxury taxes?
Like you said, that's a Vivek question to answer.
Whatever is happening with Domantas Sabonis moving forward, and of course, we're all hoping that he gets a big contract extension, because it means it's gone well. 37, 40, 43, that number is not changing. Well, that's already locked in.
But the year where you would have Sabonis, AD, and Fox all at their max value, what's that, one season?
2020, well, probably two, because unless Anthony Davis,
he's got 2 more years here. And AD, we just named off 3, including the player option. We named off 3 years.
So I guess, okay, so it'd be the 2024 season.
Yeah,
2024, 2025.
One year where you'd have them all at max value.
Yeah, and I mean, he's 31 then. 32. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's 32 years old.
Richaun, this is not the good
You're
deal.
really putting the trade together.
Harrison,
I love you for this.
Olivia in your first pick for Anthony Davis.
The funny thing is, that might make the Lakers better.
They get a pick. They save money.
That may very well
Harrison's
make the Lakers better.
You got Richaun at center, so they get a center back to go with Bron. Harrison. You got, I don't know if you want Davion. Maybe they don't even want Davion. But the contracts, I think the contracts will be close enough. They don't have a pick until 2027.
Yeah, that's not what the Lakers are going to do, though.
No,
they're going to they're going to go Daryl Morey and try to figure out, how can we get Dame Lillard out of this? How can we get Bradley Beal? How can we?
Might be able to get Bradley Beal, but they wouldn't be able to get him without trading AD. So does that work for what they're trying to do? Maybe so.
They might do it.
If I was the Lakers, I think I would.
Might do it.
If I could get Bradley Beal and I have to move AD, yeah. I'd take that chance.
I mean, I don't think Washington's trading Russell Westbrook for Bradley Beal, so
yeah, you're keeping Russ. Unless you're
Jesse.
hey, reunite Bill and Wall.
Oh, jeez. Well, there's that. Jesse, what trade did you put into that stupid website that works? Oh, Jesus, man.
I hadn't even.
Come on, man. What are we doing right now?
Again here, he said the trade works. Richaun Barnes to Davion for AD works.
Look, we all know what time it is, Carlos. KC bleeding that purple and gold right now.
But this is the crazy thing, Carlos and everybody else. I'm really stunned.
Okay,
that
show.
I'm really stunned that a lot of Kings fans are like, hell no. First of all, you have a guy in Richaun that just isn't going to play for you. All right. We love Davion, but Davion may be a guy coming off.
I'm not closing it. Now, wait, I'm not closing the door on Richaun Holmes yet. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
in a couple of weeks, but right now I'm not.
Yeah. He may stay, but the overwhelming thought is that you have to trade him.
I got you.
Right? So that's why I'm saying that. So you got a guy that you're already moving anyway. You got a guy in Davion who I love off night. That's our guy, but he's your backup point guard. Harrison Barnes has played well since unlocked him or whatever, but you got to give up a little. Essentially, you're keeping your two best players and adding Anthony Davis, and people are like, hell no. That's kind of crazy. In your Sacramento, that's kind of crazy. I can understand people saying, nah, I don't want to do it because he doesn't stay healthy. I get it, but I don't think it should be a hell no.
Well, I know that deal makes the Lakers better, which has us all wondering.
Yeah, but whose side is he on?
We don't know what you're trying to do right now. Are you trying to make the Kings better? Are you trying
wait
to make
a minute,
the Lakers better?
Hold on.
Okay,
Let's
show.
make the Kings better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
absolutely makes the Kings better when Anthony Davis returns from his latest injury. It ain't gonna make the Kings better when Anthony Davis is at home nursing a sore ankle. Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question here that Tyler brings up. I'm gonna phrase it a little bit nicer than Tyler is, but I'll use Kenny Caraway language here. Is AD washed? I'm asking a question. I'm a broadcast journalist. I told you.
Washed according to some. Wow, that's wild.
Bro, I'm asking. I get paid to ask questions. Anthony Davis, 23-9, not the problem. Anthony Davis, 23-9, 2 blocks, not the problem. The fact that he can't stay on the court is the problem.
It's absolutely a problem. But that's why he's even available, possibly. Like you get that.
I don't think he's available, by the way, for the record. I don't think Anthony Davis.
This is all
just because you heard it on Spaces.
Yeah. No, this is all people talk. This is not insider information from down in Laker.
You got your sources. I mean, you are a.
Well, my sources have not hit me with this. No.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like I said, and it'd be one thing if I say, hey, do that and give up Sabonis or Fox.
Yeah.
But you're keeping your two best players and taking chance that AD may stay healthy for a little while or healthy enough to get you where you're trying to go. That's a gamble I'm willing to take.
The stupid trade machine says the Kings add 7 wins and the Lakers lose 8. That's funny. That's very funny.
Now I always sub me out of the show.
Well, I mean, hey, it happens. I think this is funny. I'm always fascinated.
Michael Porter Jr.
Well, Kenny would do that too.
At least Michael Porter Jr. He's only played like 5 games. At least he's in the 30s. He'll be back this year.
Yeah, I was worried last night. I saw him. I had the 2 screen for that one, and I kind of looked down, and he was holding his ankle, and like, oh, okay. And then when they carried, like the way he left the floor, I was like, oh man, all right, this is bad. But apparently, not that it. I don't want to say it wasn't. Like he sprained his ankle, but I sure thought he might have.
This is not right of me. I always hope AD's not hurt seriously. I see something happen, and I kind of think it's not serious. I've seen AD.
Are
helped
you
off the court and back
insinuating?
into the game.
Are you insinuating Mr. Davis is dramatic? Like he plays
I've seen
alongside.
him carried off the court and back within 5 minutes.
I've like he plays alongside a guy who was carried off the floor by his teammates when he had cramps. So like, come on, man. Like, let's not. It's that bad energy, man. We'll come back. We need some good energy in here. Stilo KC here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320. Man. Like, oh man, I hope
You could have told me AD was coming back into the game. I'm like, yeah, probably so. You show me the footage of him in the back getting carried. Like he'll be back in about 5 minutes. Yeah, makes sense. I did.
I didn't.
Yeah, he tried to. Then he tried to pull the card. He's getting his card told, and he's like, brothers, we're supposed to be looking out for each other. Oh, really, Michael Porter Jr.?
Like, fam, you don't think we know? You don't think we know? Bust ass down.
Yeah.
That's
I had the wire. I was like, oh.
Like, fam, move. I'll shove you. You'll be out for the next 3 years. Like, stop it with your fragile ass.
Oh, now.
Who do you think Barnes could fetch? That's a terrible sentence, Lee. I don't know. I don't know. I get that. That's one thing. Like, I don't know, like, as we talk about this, and I better figure it out because the off season is approaching. I don't know what player the Kings need. We can spot like issues and shortcomings, flaws. I don't know what player fixes all of that stuff. Or some of it. Next pitch man for Copperfit. That's Joe's over on Facebook today. What was over on YouTube. Normally Joe's on Facebook.
Oh, Joe.
The last time AD played more than 20 consecutive regular season games.
2018.
Oh, man.
Wow.
AD? Yeah, probably. His numbers are pretty nuts.
You guys have me baffled in the chat. I cannot believe I cannot believe this reaction. What the trade or like people's reaction?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, people are like, no, this is ridiculous. What?
Michael Porter.
Once again,
sucker.
for Richaun Holmes, these guys are like, we would not trade our number 9 pick in Richaun Holmes for Anthony Davis. You're smoking, Kenny. What? What?
Oh yeah, we sure did.
Blame the chat.
Oh man.
Jonathan Isaac. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard much about him lately. AD? Yeah. UFC 916. What's up with that, man? What's up? What's that all about? What you work at the gym? You affiliated? What's up, man? I'm just.
Oh man, I just be busting heads, yo.
Trying to tap into his favorite show, but he's got to be incognito.
He's got to be incognito, indeed, no doubt. Can't let anyone know.
No, the bag junk. No, you're not getting Kuminga ever. NBA old boy, man. What's up, man? How's Portland doing, bro? How's it going up there? You guys got good weather right now, or is it cold or warm? What's the scene in Portland right now, old boy?
Well, I don't know what we just accomplished.
I don't either.
But it's
that was supposed to be a quick hit.
Wasn't a quick hit. Nope. Not when you start trading Anthony Davis for Richaun Holmes and a pick or Davion Mitchell or whatever your proposal there was. 916-349-1320. If you want to
household yelling at me.
Yeah, that's very, I mean, it happens, bro. it happens. 916-349-1320 if you want to get in on the phones and hang out with us. It's Stilo and KC, brought to you by McQueen and the Violet Fog, the smoothest gin in the world, handcrafted in Brazil. It's Michael Jordan's birthday today.
Oh yeah, man, air horns for
the most coveted party every All-Star break is Michael Jordan's party.
Even, well, yeah. I'm not. I was going to say even, but obviously it is.
Kenny's the second.
Even more, yeah.
Kenny's the second. Yeah, Kenny Thomas has a huge party every at El Rey every All-Star game. Kenny Smith has the second biggest party of All-Star weekend. And without fail, Jordan's there every year. Big birthday celebration. What's the like the first three things? Like, what are the first three Jordan memories that come to your mind? Just pop right out the gate.
Shot on Elo. Jordan switching hands.
A spectacular move
by Michael Jordan.
By the way, revisit this. We need to revisit this. Your boy Stephen A. losing his mind on New York was an all-time.
I heard about this. I didn't hear it.
I'll play it for you. It's funny, and it's only funny to me, not because Stephen A., who I enjoy Stephen A., I appreciate Stephen A. It's funny that they think anyone gives a damn about the New York Knicks. Like Stephen A. Smith on national television talking about the New York Knicks are a national embarrassment. Like, Stephen, nobody gives a crap about the New York Knicks. You can't be a national embarrassment if nobody cares about you. What are you talking about? But it's funny. I'll play it for you. For you. Okay. Back to Jordan, though. Back to Jordan. The spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Shot on Elo.
Yep.
Switching hands in the shot. But there's a during the pandemic, I went back. You know, we were all watching old stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I know, right? And one of the old things I came across was I was watching a bunch of Jordan, and I watched him against the Pistons, all the series against the Pistons. And he had a game, I think it wasn't the year he beat him. I think it was the year before. It might have been 90, might have been 89. But anyway, it was like a game 6. He went off on Detroit, descending games, like went off. And he, like, it's the one you would know, you know, airtime, where he gets the steal, saves it, gets it back in bounds. They come back and he throws it behind his head over to Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah.
And he did that. And then, like, after that, he hit a 3 and he started yelling at the crowd, like talking to the crowd. And I was like, Mike, let's go. I put myself back in 89 as a Bulls fan or something. It was like, that's my dude. He talking crazy to these boys. And that's like one of my favorite moments now. Like that whole game, just remembering going through that again. So that's randomly up there.
First three things I thought of, and I tried to write them down because I didn't want to talk myself. I was like, what are the first, okay, Michael Jordan's birthday. What are the first 3 things you think of? And I literally wrote down the first 3 things I thought of.
Mm-hmm.
The shot on Elo,
Mm-hmm.
the dunk on Patrick Ewing,
Oh,
and the shrug.
the shrug was up there
against
too.
Portland.
That
Those
like
were the first 3
fourth
things I thought of.
Yeah. The shrug was nasty. We talk about this all the time. Thought Mike was going for like 101 that night because he had 30 at the half. He had like 33 at the half. I was like, he might get 100.
Yeah, I think he finished with 38. Like it was something weird like that. I don't even think he got to 40. But I that's a game. I know where I was. I remember everything about that evening watching that game. I remember where I was when it started, as it went on. I remember the moment he shrugged and where I was. Like I remember everything so vividly about that game.
Yeah, that was
even more than the switch hands against the Lakers.
Switch hands. There's two interesting. Well, one interesting story that I have about Michael Jordan. So, but before I do that, NBA old boy, he says number 1 ball fakes, 2 dunk contest, 3 chips. But probably in the top 3 is the 88 dunk contest.
That was the next thing I thought of was the dunk contest.
The 88 in a world where we look at things in the 80s and we're like, that's not that impressive anymore. The 88 dunk contest, when it gets to Neek and Mike, that still holds up today. Mike with the kiss the rim. These dudes jump out the gym nowadays. They can't do the kiss the rim like Mike. Yeah. Mike was punching that thing with that holds up today. But funny thing about 91 finals is I was a huge Michael Jordan fan, huge Bulls fan, or whatever the case may be. Followed him as much as I can throughout the year. And the championship game, the game 5, was something happened at school. It was the day before the last day of school. I got in trouble, and my punishment was I couldn't watch TV. I missed the game. I was so sick.
You were trying to trade Anthony Davis for Richaun Holmes and Davion Mitchell, and you got put on punishment, I think is what happened.
I was so sick, and my mom, being a little softy, I guess, let me watch the last 2.5 minutes when it was clear they were going to win. And I was like, yeah, Mike won. But I missed the game. I'll never forget. As you can see, I'll never forget that. I wasn't able to watch when Mike finally won the championship.
That was
like the last couple minutes.
So the 91. That you said that was the 91. The Lakers one, the first one that you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those. I mean, is there? Since we're just throwing out crazy questions today.
Good call. I was 8.
Kenny, when I was 7, stories are always the best.
I was 91. Yeah, June of 91. I think I was 7.
Is there will there ever, if 10 years from now, what year, 2022, 2032, will there ever be a time where Jordan is more known for shoes and apparel than the basketball player? I know it sounds crazy right now, but I'm asking you to think about Jordan's last game, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was. His shoes, we were talking about Super Bowl. One of our talking points Monday were the threes. Shoes are shoes that he wore in 1988 in a different colorway go on sale tomorrow. Like, will there ever be a time where his shoes and his apparel that you got on right now are bigger than, or are more well known? Not bigger, but more universally well known than the player.
Damien, I'm just shaking my head here because I can make the argument where they're now. I could say, like, if we ask this question to a certain demographic, like 28 and under, they can't give us 3 Jordan moments, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm not going back watching Mike. They know the bread 11s, the bread 1s. They know who Michael Jordan is. They know he's more than just the shoe. They recognize him as the greatest player to ever play, but they can't tell you anything they've seen from Michael Jordan.
But that's a demographic. That's a certain portion of the population. Like you can get to a young demographic that maybe never saw Michael Jordan play live, and they know, oh no, Mike was bad. Like it's not. You almost like if you're a basketball fan now, and part of this, this is a bit unfair because of The Last Dance and the circumstances that the entire country were in when that series aired.
Right.
But like if you're a basketball fan now, you know to go back and watch Mike. Like Last Dance or notwithstanding, to go back and watch Mike. When I grew up watching basketball and was a Michael Jordan fan, and I had the old VHS cassette tapes of Magic Johnson, Always Showtime, and Come Fly With Me, and Michael Jordan's Playground, and Dazzling Dunks and basketball bloopers and all of that stuff. At no point did I was like, yo, man, I gotta go watch Bill Russell. Yo, I need to go find a VHS about Wilt Chamberlain. I didn't, and no one ever told me to.
Right.
No one was like, boy, unless you've seen George. I think for maybe like the first 5 years of my basketball fandom, I saw one George Gervin highlight. And it's the same one. Everybody knows what it is. It's the finger roll. This is the one highlight I ever saw on George Gervin. And it was probably on a Michael Jordan video that I saw it.
Right.
But with Mike, you've got to go back and watch. I wonder, like, I'll ask another question then. And this I feel like you could say now. Is there ever a point where the brand is bigger than the player?
Yeah, like you said, I think
like we might be there now. Yeah.
It's Jordan.
I think the brand became bigger than the player when people started wearing Jordans while Michael Jordan was still playing. Because I know that's nothing now, because a lot of people wear KDs, or a lot of people, especially Kyrie's, everybody rocks Kobe's.
Right.
It didn't used to be like that.
No.
Like people weren't wearing Air Jordans during basketball games that Michael Jordan was playing in.
Right.
I think Michael Jordan's entire legacy changed when that happened.
Yeah.
Or let me rephrase that. I think the entire legacy of the brand changed when his opponents started wearing them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like you said, in that time, the signature shoe was literally just the person, right? Like you said about everybody. So Jordan only wore Jordans, or only Michael Jordan wore Jordans. Only Penny wore pennies. You know what I mean? And everybody else had to rock Air Ups or something like that. But it was,
don't sleep on them Grand Hill feelers though, boy.
Even Grand Hill, when nobody else wearing them feelers, like that's the case. But like
Grand
you
Hill
said,
Tupac.
Now, you're right. All eyes on me. Stand up. But now, you got people wearing, like you said, Kyrie's, KD's. I don't think anybody wears LeBrons.
That's because I've said this before. LeBrons are built for a dude who's 6'9", 270 pounds.
Right.
LeBron shoes are not built for me. I have one pair, and I don't want to. I don't hate them. I just don't wear them very often because I need to strengthen my quads before I go out there and rock those, because they're just, especially the way shoes are now. Like, what was I watching the other day where someone's like, I'm gonna go. Oh, it was Bel Air. I was watching Bel Air. Will was getting ready for his first game at Bel Air Academy, and he pulls out his special Jordans. Like, I'm gonna rock these today. I'm like, who plays basketball in Jordans? Thing's too damn heavy. I ain't putting those on.
Yeah, the retros are heavy. They tried to make the newer ones lighter. Like, just shout out, to my people over at Jordan. I got some of the 36s, 35. Like, they try to make those more to like how basketball players wear their shoes today. But the retros, like, nah, unless you put like an insole in them. That's about it. But yeah, like
ones have you walking around like Frankenstein.
Yeah, ones are sporty only,
and it's
now.
Tough because they make like off-white ones, Travis Scott ones. They like the hot shoe is the Jordan 1.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, okay, go ahead. Like women have high heels, dudes have sneakers.
Yes, women have bags. Dudes have sneakers.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is women walk around in high heels like, oh, you guys don't know what it's like. You walk in the door and you kick them shoes off. Oh, best believe if I'm at G1C and I'm rocking a nice pair of ones, the second my punk ass gets it home, I'm taking them off.
Really?
Oh, every time.
To me.
Oh no, them shoes are not
good.
comfortable, dude.
Yeah.
The most
They
iconic
don't
shoe.
feel like I don't know, foam pods. I'm not walking on air, but it felt good.
The most no, they don't. You're listening to D'Lo and Casey on ESPN 1320 KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, and Odyssey Station, and driven by last year's Elk Grove Dodge. The most important Jordan to me is the 11, the Concord 11. That shoe is terribly uncomfortable. Terribly uncomfortable.
I don't know. I don't have a Jordan that's uncomfortable.
Okay.
I don't have that.
You just up here lying to people now. You know these shoes ain't comfortable. That's fine. No, you got. I know you got people. You don't want to cut the shipment off to the house, so you got to say nice things. You know that damn shoe is uncomfortable. Wink, and we know you lying. No, that's fine. That's fine. You got people. I get it. We don't want this clip floating out there on the internet. It's fine.
They're fine. And actually, I mean, well, you can attest to this. I feel like the off-white ones are very comfortable.
They're actually they are lighter than the. Like an off-white one feels different than a Travis Scott one. Like
I can't compare that. I'm sorry.
I freaking hate you, dude. I swear.
I can't. I can't make the comparison. Whatever. I can only listen to you to tell me there's a difference.
Whatever, dude. I'm gonna find out if Nick Cattles needs a co-host, man. I swear to God. I swear to God, dude. I'm so sick of you. He's such a liar. Did you ever see Jordan play live? I
didn't, man. I didn't. I'm trying to think. I didn't see him.
He has a highlight against I think it's the Baby Blues that's on every video where it's the patent. He's on the baseline. He goes around. It's the kind of around the backboard.
See, I'm up
on the other side.
I don't know. Maybe so. Because I was about to call Cap. I think the one that I was thinking about is against the Nets.
Oh no, I know exactly which one you're thinking about the next, but that's in the middle of the floor. Yeah, that's insane. That shot is absolutely insane.
You know, he has a lot of he has a lot of I've seen a lot of like Getty images at Arco.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a lot of people said that, you know, photographers, just like with wrestling and stuff like that, they said they used to love having pictures at Arco. The lights, the background, all this other stuff, it was perfect. So I've seen a lot of Getty images with him at Arco against when they had the royal blue.
The royal blue, okay.
Yeah. Obviously,
white blue. I was trying to pause and think, man, did I see Jordan with the Wizards? I didn't. I never saw Jordan play. I never saw
anybody that was there. Call in. I want to know what that was like when Jordan was with the Bulls. The one that sticks out to me the most with Jordan with the Bulls was 96. The Kings were good. Mitch Richmond was like the second best two guard in the league. And Chicago came in here trying to, you know, break the record. They weren't, you know, it was like around mid-season, but they were on pace to break the record. And they the Kings played them hard, played them tough, ended up losing. But I think the Bulls lost the next two games after Sacramento. And that's the one I remember the most about him coming here. But let us know if you saw Mike at all, if you saw him. I'm interested in the Wizards one. How was that phenomenon when he came back?
I remember his last game. Like, I remember the talk around it. Like,
the last game here in Sacramento?
Yeah, when he was with the Wizards. Like, I remember that vividly. I also remember I wasn't there. I feel like I made up for it with LeBron, though. I've seen LeBron James play a ton, and I was at the first game here.
Wow.
I've actually seen LeBron and Kobe play a lot. I think I've seen them both. I know LeBron dropped 55 in an overtime game against the Kings at the Golden One Center. Or, excuse me, at Arco. At Arco. And I don't know how many the biggest output I've seen from Kobe, but I've seen Kobe a ton too.
I saw
Kobe's last game. I saw LeBron's first game, Kobe's last game.
That's something right there. Exactly. That's something. I saw Kobe and Shaq. Like, before they won a championship. I want to say this was like 97, 98. I saw them at Arco Arena. And I don't remember too much about that game.
I
Kings
didn't
lost on they had a shot to tie at the end. They lost. That's all I remember. And then I saw Kobe once or twice at Arco. And I just saw LeBron for the first time last year. I hadn't seen LeBron live until last season. And I remember the one time I thought I was going to see him live for the first time, he gets hurt a day or two before. He's out for the Kings game. That was the bogey shot.
Okay.
So
okay.
That was the first time I saw Luke Walton coach in person.
Oh, that's what it's that's the memory to hold on to right there. The Luke Walton era here in Sacramento for sure. Is the greatest athlete you ever saw live a basketball player? Is it LeBron?
Wow. So this is a good question because for me it comes down to LeBron and Barry Bonds.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that's tough. That's tough.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I saw Barry live. I mean, yeah. I can't. I want to say LeBron or Kobe. I think the greatest athlete I ever saw. I think they might be
damn Olympics.
I think Usain Bolt probably gets that nod. Like seeing Usain Bolt
level
win the 100 looking backwards. But at that same, I saw something very rare in that 2008 Olympics that no one that most people didn't see. I saw Michael Phelps lose a race. Remember that was the Olympics where he won just an absurd amount of gold medals. It was a qualifying heat. He only had to like finish top 3 or something, and he finished second. And I couldn't go to the final, so I just went. It was like, well, Michael Phelps's heat is here. I'll go see Michael Phelps race. And so I saw him in that same Olympics again. It wasn't for a medal. It was just his qualifying heat, and so I saw him in that same.
Did they? Time. Did he lose? Who was the guy the American that was they thought was going to be the next Phelps?
Ryan Lochte.
That's the same guy who faked getting jumped at the gas station, right? Did he lose to him?
No, I don't think so. No. It was again. It was nothing like significant because it was just a qualifying heat. It didn't matter. But no, he lost to someone. He lost to someone else. Nicholas is asking, did you keep your ticket stub from Bron's first game? I believe I have the ticket stub, and I have a pin, a little pin that they gave out that day that has. I found it when I was moving, and I was like, what the hell is? Oh, this is dope. I was going to give it to Io, but my guy from Cleveland, but he hates LeBron now. So
I no,
give it to him. Yeah, no, he did. LeBron has broken his heart too many times.
With me, when do you think LeBron retires?
Honestly, I don't think he retires anytime soon.
I'm feeling like it's 5 years from now.
I think he's Brady. Like he can
it resurfaced again that he said he wants to play with Bronny.
Well, Jesse just said he'll retire after Bronny's rookie season. So how far are we away from that?
Bronny, I feel like Bronny's a junior this year.
What year is it? 2022?
22.
Well, I mean, honestly, like LeBron still looks like LeBron. There's been no fall off with him. Like he's phenomenal.
The only thing right now is the bumps and bruises are starting to slowly but surely. Like the knee is starting to bother him.
Yeah.
That's
so I feel like the bumps and bruises add up quicker when your team sucks. Just an observation. Wow. Wow. Send your hate tweets to @IMKDiddy.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Right.
Can I not joke? Can we not have fun on the radio? Can we not joke?
Manny, real quick, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, brothers? Man, I was lucky enough to at least go to a couple games every year in Chicago. That Mike was in Chicago. I had a couple friends that either worked at the old Chicago Stadium or United Center or parked cars over there, and that's crazy. Like it's just you're a kid still, and you don't really understand everything like of being in that moment until you get a little bit older. But it was insane. Like his entourage was like everything that followed him was just like, and then just to watch him live, even if you were up in the rafters, it was like you just felt like you were in that presence and you had to be there.
Yeah.
Whether it looked like a speck or whether you could see it up close, it was eye popping every single time.
I could
Appreciate you, Manny.
Yeah, I could imagine.
There's a scene from The Last Dance that really sticks out to me when he's going to leave the locker room, and there's just swarms of reporters, like dozens and dozens and dozens, 50 some odd people crowding around him, following him to the bus as his security guard is trying to get him through. And all of the smart reporters are talking to the security guard, trying to get access to Mike on his way to the bus there. We'll come back. I'll play that clip of Stephen A for you as well. I want you to hear that. That's funny. Oh, leaked footage from 49ers practice. Because apparently the 49ers are practicing in February.
Soon that'll be the greatest player I've ever seen.
We'll explain all that. We'll get back into the Kings as well as D'Lo and Casey continue here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320. All right, I'll be right back.
Yep, you're good. Never mind me, guys. Handling a little business. I did see that. I mean, I'd be surprised if he took that deal. And look, I'll be fully, if we're talking business and I'm Canelo, I can always go to that deal next year. That deal ain't going nowhere next year. Why not take the 2 easier fights, get $100 million this year, and then if I want to, take another one out there or next year. Yeah. He'll never fight Andre, I guess. That's crazy. Yeah, he ain't taking that deal. And if we're talking the business of boxing, it would make no sense to take that deal right now. Bruh, that'd be crazy. That would be nuts. No, I don't think so either. Bronny's a good little ball player. He's a good ball player. I like Bronny, but like you said, he's not going to be a top 10 guy, or I don't even think he'd be a lottery guy. That'd be crazy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that, Dr. David. I don't know about that. I think Charlo got something for him. I think it's a good fight, though. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I didn't see this, Peyton. What did he say? Something today or something? I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, that's just what they do. He's not, but the kid that's better than him is a senior. I think Bronny will be the best player next year.
Grabbed a handful of blackberries on my way up. They're bad.
Oh, I thought you meant blackberries. I was like, wow. Just they bringing the new blackberries to your crib.
No.
That's level.
Oh, I ain't got. I mean, blackberries. Yeah, blackberries are legit. If you get the right one. Yeah. I don't think people liked our Michael Jordan conversation. Huh. Is this a Trista Crick email? Just got something from Kicks on Fire. What's this mean? Oh, this got to be a Trista email. Free Air Jordan 12 playoffs and Yeezys. Oh, Trista. Damn it, pal. Cool Grays. Okay. No problem. That cardinal color is pretty clean, man.
What, the shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire. Those are fire.
Like what? I already got the cement ones and the Katrina ones. Man. Shoe game is tough to navigate.
It is. It is. I try though.
We do. We collectively.
I'm not gonna stop.
We try. 916-349-1320. Let's get to our man Dominic here. Dominic, what's happening, brother?
D'Lo and Casey, radio royalty.
My man.
Thank you.
I like that. Appreciate you, Dominic.
Such an upgrade from the Rise guys.
Hey, we like the Rise guys. We appreciate the love, but we like those guys.
We went round and round. I don't know what year Watson was drafted out of Clemson, but I would call in every day and they would just diss me because they thought Watson would never amount to anything. How long do you think, what do you think the shelf life is for Trey Lance?
What you mean? Like how long he's going to be in the league?
No. As far as how many years did Aaron Rodgers sit on the bench before he started? 4?
I think we talked about this the other day. I think it was 3. I think it was 3. Yeah.
3. Yeah, I did that. I don't think that's happening with Trey Lance. I think he's starting this year.
You think he's starting next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, unless something crazy happens like Rodgers or Brady. Like I'm not completely dismissing those Brady rumors. I don't think they're going to happen, but I'm not.
So Watson's out of the picture.
Yeah, Watson's out of the picture.
I mean, because of the legal issues.
Probably. Well, because of the legal issues. Plus, you got to trade for him.
Right.
And they essentially traded for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Like everything that you would have needed to trade for Deshaun Watson, you traded for Trey Lance. So yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
I think it would have happened last year though, if the legal stuff wouldn't have happened
prior to the draft, prior to the Trey Lance.
Everything I felt at the time and things that I've read since said it was real. Like the 49ers were really trying to.
I believe it. I would have loved it. So real quick before we get to the leaked footage at a 49ers, and we'll get back to the Kings here shortly as well. Where is this Brady San Francisco stuff coming from? Why is that starting again?
It's really just coming out of thin air. It's coming out of the same place the AD trade is coming from. It's coming completely.
It's coming from spaces. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that's a great line. That's
remember
funny.
The guy called us a week ago, and he was like, "I got Brady to the Niners is happening. When it happens, I'll call you guys back. But it's
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, people saying that it could happen or Brady wants it to happen.
Didn't he say like, yo, I don't have the love for that team that people think that I do. Didn't he say that to old boy on one of his
Jim Gray?
Yeah, on one of his shows.
Yeah, he said that. I don't think it happens. But
I don't either. I'm just
in this day and age, I'm not gonna just be like no chance. I can see a world where it happens. Oh, I meant to talk about this when it happened. This was like 2 weeks ago. And I forgot. But somebody came out with a story that said internet detectives, NFL, they deciphered who Brady was talking about on the shop. And it wasn't the Niners. It wasn't the Raiders. I want to say it was the Dolphins.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw that story too?
No, Jesse told me about it.
Okay.
There were something happened, and I don't remember. I don't know if Jesse remembered, but the like process of elimination. Go ahead.
That's when it came.
That's
out.
what
That's
it
right.
was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Out.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so yeah. All right.
I don't know.
I would have said the same thing Brady did, though. Like, to be honest, you gonna keep me, you gonna keep that MFer and not me. I would have done the same thing. Yo, we've got to. Okay, we're gonna get to Trey Lance, and I want to get back to the Kings. Olivia is gonna join us at the top of the 3 o'clock. Remind me, I've got to. Did you see the video of? Did you see the Matt Stafford photographer thing?
Yes.
Okay, so Schefter's tweeting about it. We've got to get back to that because I've got a lot of questions about what happened there, and we'll tell you what Schefter said. It's not that big of a deal. It's just if you saw the video, it's a very WTF type thing. Like, so
all the way around. To be honest with you. All the way around.
That girl like fractured her back, like her spinal. Man.
Not a vertebrae.
No good, dude. Like, I don't know that I can look at Matt Stafford the same way ever again after that.
A lot of people thought that was funny. That was not funny.
Okay, that is, bro. But like it was like, yo, what just, because I didn't understand what happened. It was like, clear, the girl fell. Girl fell off the stage. And Matt Stafford's like, oh, wow. And that's embarrassing. And turns around and leaves. What was it, Kelly?
That was his wife, yeah.
Kelly's like, oh, God. And like, she runs over to check on the girl. There's no point in putting this off later. We're already here. So we'll just take this, like, this popped in my head because Schefter tweeted, the Staffords, Matt and Kelly, announced they will be covering the medical expenses of Kelly Smiley, who fell off a stage during Wednesday's Super Bowl parade and fractured her spine.
Oh, my gosh.
We have been in communication with Kelly, and we are sorry for what happened. No, bro, what you're sorry about is that a camera caught you walking away from it. Like, oh, that's a shame. She just fell off the stage. And also, Also, I saw Matt Stafford taking 1942 to the head. That is stupid. That is not what I don't care how much money you have. That's not what you do with a bottle of 1942. That was trash. Matt Stafford showed his ass yesterday. So while my guy, Aaron Donald, was popping. Absolutely, that's your guy. You Kenny Caraway Rams fan who was IGing pictures of the Rams celebration yesterday.
Black Bottle Boys, man, we gotta stay connected, man. You know, all that other stuff we leave on the field when it comes to being a Black Bottle Boy, we always connected, man.
So while our guys, the Los Angeles Rams, were popping bottles of Luke Belaire Lux, that dummy's taking 1942. I've repped Matt Stafford pretty hard the last 4 weeks.
I can guarantee you that's over.
He showed his ass yesterday, dude.
It's a great call.
He showed his ass yesterday between that video with the photographer and that violation with the 1942, man. That's a bad look.
Good look for him.
Bad look.
Not a good look for him at all. But once again, shout out to our Black Bottle Boys over there at the Los Angeles Rams. Hey, you're gonna celebrate. There's only one way to celebrate, man.
That's right.
They had the big bottles out. You know, they were popping the bottles all through the parade, and that's the way to do it right there.
Represent with that. They were all over that Lux too. They were all over this joint. You can party like the Chicago. You can party like the Los Angeles Rams with these joints right here, baby.
Yeah.
Luke Belaire Lux. the biggest challengers for the Los Angeles Rams will be your San Francisco 49ers.
You want to see the bottles I'm gonna be popping next year?
You think Black Bottles 916 will give us them joints that the Los Angeles Rams had?
Black Bottles 916 will give us all of them, all the bottles.
I believe it. I believe it. So, can you explain? Why is there video of Trey Lance throwing passes out on the internet right now?
Because of Ryan Clark.
It's 100% why. That is 1,000% why.
Who don't know? I do have Ryan Clark sound. So
okay,
I'm being a little facetious. It's not 100% of that. I think about a play in fact. Here's Ryan Clark. He was on NFL Live. What was yesterday? Wednesday? It was probably Monday.
It was a couple days ago. It was the 15th, it looks like. Yeah.
Ryan Clark talking about Trey Lance.
And I know there are things when you look at guys like Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, and we understand they need improvement, but they were good enough for their team to say, you know what? We can win with you out there, and it's time to have you there, not Trey Lance. And they're like, maybe he can't throw, right? Maybe he's not as accurate.
Trey Lance.
Maybe he's not as accurate as you need a quarterback to be.
Okay,
Ooh.
so that was crazy in itself. At first, there's a lot of things. Number one, I guess we imagined Trey Lance playing 2 games this year.
That's facts.
Yes. It was all make.
It was in our virtual reality world that we were talking about earlier. That's right.
It was in the metaverse where he played those games. Number 2, the Jags, Bears, and maybe the Patriots did, but the Jags and the Bears and the Jets looked at their quarterbacks and said, we can win with those guys, and won like a combined 9 games on the season.
3-14, 6-11.
Okay. And then you got the part where he says, we don't even know if the guy can throw. That's where the Niners step in.
There you go.
That's where the Niners, I don't know if it's John Lynch. I don't know if it's Jed York. I don't know if it's a random ball boy who sent some practice video to, I don't want to get my man's name wrong. I think it's Javier Vega.
Okay.
I get his name for sure. I got his name. Javier Vega, 49ers blogger. A lot of followers. He's got like 11,000 followers. Like he's out there.
Okay.
But somehow he gets his hands on on this practice footage and tweets it out, like practice footage that none of us would ever see unless the 49ers wanted us to see it. Like nobody can get this isn't a reporter being at practice like you typically get, and look at this throw he made here in one-on-one drills. No, these are 49ers scrimmages that are closed to the media. And somehow this guy gets the footage.
Yeah. These aren't cell phone videos, by the way. Just for those who are wondering.
These are Bill Belichick at the Rams practice type footage right
wow.
here. That's what
Spygate joints right here.
And Trey is making 3 of the best passes you'll see all year. Effortlessly.
Well, it's February 17th. That's an odd statement to make. 3 of the best passes you'll see all year. He's in practice.
I don't care where he's at. I don't care if he's at California State Fair.
That's a hell of these are hell of a pass. These are some passes right here, though.
To his left, throwing across his body and effortlessly flinging that thing about 20 yards down the field and hitting it right on spot. Damn. Now, it all doesn't, like, I'm excited, obviously, because I want to see if it translates. But obviously, it's practice. It doesn't mean anything. But any doubt in your mind, Damian, somehow, some way, this came from the 49ers. And it was meant to come.
Absolutely. I'll go a step further. You said this was. I said, why is there video of Trey Lance throwing right now? You said because of Ryan Clark. Yeah, no, absolutely. Mike, you think we mortgaged our future on a guy who couldn't throw? Okay. Hey, come here. And I don't even know who I'm talking to. Just somebody come here. Get this too. Can't get it. Don't get it to one of the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. Let's get it to like a Niners Wire or a Niners Nation or something like that.
Should have got it to Kyle.
It absolutely 100% should have been Kyle.
Yeah.
I think
No.
Kyle misses us. He's going to join us tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go.
But he also has his bachelor party this weekend, so I'm not really sure what's happening. But I think he's with us.
We need a little Luke Belair. We talking about celebrate. We got to get a bottle to my guy.
We got to. We got to.
But no, the passes were sick. I mean, to me, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Like Trey Lance is not the best prospect we've ever seen, and look at these throws he's throwing and proves it. No, that's not the case. And he's
but the
not
footage didn't get
near,
out on accident, though.
Right. He's not anywhere near where Ryan Clark is talking about. Maybe he can't throw. We saw him play 2 games. He looked fine. He looked fine. He went 1-1 in 2 games. He looked fine.
I'm all about creating content. That was a tough one. Like hearing him say, maybe he can't throw the ball. These guys saw I could go with him and win. I can go with him and win. Like, hey, Ryan Clark, one of my favorites, by the way. Ryan.
I like Ryan Clark.
Let's define the word win. Because I think we got different definitions. We do not see winning the same way.
No.
At all.
No, we don't.
Since we're playing sound that's getting run on social media,
give it to me.
Can I
need
pull
to
up?
hear it.
It's funny because it legit reminded me of like some stuff that happens with like Kings fans. Like how many times have like Kings been broken this year, or just something has gone horribly wrong. This was your boy.
You know, I got a good friend.
He's
a Knicks fan.
He's
that
babbling
just sent
about
me a
nothing
text
right
message.
here.
You know what he said?
I don't know
to
what
me?
he's
was
talking
it?
about.
He said,
and can I tell you what's
praises
really
the
funny
Lord.
about Stephen A. in these clips is the way Mike Greenberg looks at him. Greeny knows he's just about to go on this tirade, and so he kind of placates him by he's like leaning to the side. You know what's funny about this? And Greeny's like, "What's that?" he's getting ready to take this all in. Mike Wilbon, you got
Lord,
listen to this.
Tithes, praise every day.
Yep.
He mentors kids. We as Knicks fans deserve better than this.
No, you don't.
And he's absolutely right.
No, you don't.
The New York Knicks are a national disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. They're horrible. Tibbs, we're hearing that the New York Knicks as an organization ain't too fond of him these days. He might be out. I don't give a damn if he was going tonight.
Change tips for Luke.
Julius Randle, I'm done with him.
Change
Leon
Julius for
Rose, I
De'Aaron.
mean, we got inmates in state penitentiaries more visible than this man. He's the president of basketball operations. We can't find this man. They are trash.
Change Leon for Monty.
Horrible. No KD, no Kyrie, no Ben Simmons, and you lose a 28-point lead.
Does any of this sound familiar? Does any of this sound familiar?
Courtesy of a rookie by the name of Cam Thomas, who's decent, probably good. 16 points in the fourth quarter. The New York Knicks are trash. Spike Lee shouldn't even show up for the rest of the season.
Kenny Caraway shouldn't even show up for the rest of the season.
Tracy Morgan, don't go. Don't go.
I don't know who.
Nobody goes. You're horrible.
Tracy Morgan
I'm
is.
so done with
Here, I meant the Sacramento version of Tracy Morgan.
this team. You just stink. All the excuses. Brooke, I am officially embarrassed that there is video out of me last year talking about New York stand-up. I am embarrassed. I'm not finished, Jalen. I mean, this is a disgrace.
Sound like jazz.
I owe Jay Williams a Tom Ford suit. I owe Wilbon dinner, whatever restaurant he wants. God knows what pair of sneakers Jalen go come up with for me to buy. What the hell you want, Greedy? I mean, I ain't got a choice. I mean, it's just horrible.
So I'm gonna hit that right there because
Here's it's a really good call. Lance Woods is Tracy Morgan.
There you go. That is a good call. Here's the funniest thing about that to me. These people are really convinced that, like, if I had gone on, if I was Stephen A. Smith and I had gone on ESPN and gone on that diatribe about the Sacramento Kings are a national embarrassment. I could have said everything that he just said with Luke as Tibbs and Monty as Leon, and I could have mentioned how many games have the Kings lost with stars missing. Could have done all of that, and it would have had the same impact. The Kings and the Knicks, same thing. The Knicks aren't a national embarrassment because no one cares about the Knicks anymore.
I say that's cap.
Y'all post them videos at what was Bing Bong? What was y'all doing last year outside? The Garden is lit. This is crazy. You know who the Garden was lit and crazy to? The people at the Garden. You know who the biggest fan of the biggest fans of the crowd at Madison Square Garden is? The fans at Madison Square Garden. They're marks for themselves. To go on ESPN and say a team who has made the playoffs once in the last 9 years is a national disgrace is laughable.
No, they're a national disgrace.
Oh, they're not. They're a bad basketball team.
So, do you think the reason why I know they're a national disgrace is because people talk about them. People laugh at them when they're bad.
Nobody talking about Stephen A. Like these dudes in New York and Bristol.
They're a topic of discussion. You mean to tell me the Knicks are on the same level? They're just a bad basketball team like the Orlando Magic and nobody cares? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the Garden. It's the Mecca. It's New York City. It's New York City's basketball team. It's the Knicks. Topic of discussion.
Okay. If ESPN headquarters was based in Inglewood, California, instead of Bristol, Connecticut, literally nobody that we would see would be talking about the New York Knicks.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Because just like they did with LA, they would put little de facto headquarters somewhere in Times Square because it's New York City. Just like they had to come out here because it's LA.
It would get minimal run. Sports Center, New York. That's all it would be.
I really hate Sports Center LA. I really do.
All concepts.
It is so dumb. Like oh my gosh, I hate Sports Center Los Angeles.
I told you the bit about how at the end of PTI, when they did the crossover, they tried to get people to watch the first quarter hour of the 6 o'clock for us, the 3 o'clock Sports Center. So they'd bring Tony and Mike back at like 3:12. So you'd get the end of PTI and then you get the first segment. You would grab people for an extra quarter for ratings, right?
Yeah.
Mike would finish and he would say, when they would finish up, he'd say, let's go back to Bristol. Mike, you got to stop saying Bristol. They didn't want people to know that they were in Bristol. The only two places they're allowed to acknowledge where they are is Los Angeles and New York. They can't acknowledge Bristol, Connecticut, or they're not. I don't know if that's mandated still true. They weren't supposed to acknowledge Bristol, Connecticut.
I wonder if they're always going to stay in Bristol.
Well, people ask that all, bro. That place is enormous. You're not gonna find space like that in Times Square. You know what I mean? For all them satellite joints, like that. Bristol's a good spot for them. I don't even know where I don't know if there's a spot on the West Coast that you could find
somewhere in Arizona
that much space.
Go to Fresno.
You don't have all them. Well,
they're in Bristol.
Yeah, but how far is Fresno from Los Angeles?
Like 3.5 hours.
Okay, that's not bad because Bristol's about 90 minutes to 2 hours. Like most people, they can go to some people stayed at the Residence Inn, down the street from campus. But like Wilbon, like those dudes, no, they had a car. Take them
back to New York.
New York, that's right. He's like, I'm not staying in Bristol for the night. I'm gonna stay in New York for the night, and then I'm gonna fly back to Chicago or to Arizona.
They can go to Bakersfield. How about that? It's a little closer.
Okay.
A lot of space in Bakersfield. Something that Stephen A. said, though, kind of sparked my interest, and I'd want your and other people's reaction to this. Tibbs get fired. You want him here in Sacramento?
No. Nope, absolutely not. And I'll explain why. I'll explain why.
Okay.
Next, here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, Olivia Christian joins us next, and I'll explain that because I'd been thinking about Tibbs. and then it actually, I think the answer is relatively easy. We'll give it to you next here. And D'Lo and Casey continue on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
Oh,
goodness gracious.
Oh, man. I'll be right back.
Okay. Look, I know Tibbs can coach, but I think when y'all hear me out, that's all I can say. Bingo. That's 100% it. Well, no, of course the New York media does. Of course they do. That's no different than us covering the Kings or the Memphis media covering the Grizzlies. Like I meant like how like he said a national disgrace. The New York Knicks are not a national disgrace. They don't matter enough to be a national disgrace. Facts. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Let me pull up. Make sure I got all of my Tom Thibodeau notes in front of me. Tibbs born in Connecticut, New Britain, Connecticut. All right. If Cody, God, man, I just can't believe that might actually happen. I would do the Raw after too. Yep, I would definitely do the Raw after. I can't, like, why? I still can't get over that. Why would he do it? Like, why would he go back there? I honestly thought Cody was super inspirational. Like when Cody left and he put out that list where he was like, I want to fight this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And it was across all of these different promotions. Man, I thought that was the dopest thing. And when I saw how he, like, I think he checked everyone off that list. And then obviously, then the what was it called? All In, and then Double or Nothing. Like, oh man, yo, that was so inspirational. I thought that was tremendous. I won't believe it till I see it. That's all I keep saying is I will not believe it till I see it. Damn, Devon underwent spinal surgery. Jeez. Ooh. It's weird. It hasn't happened in so long. Like, I don't even remember like what shocking stuff is anymore. Yeah, like for sure. Punk's return. I think it's just it's not even it's like it's not even that like Cody. I don't want to diminish Cody as the wrestler. Like dude, Cody is a tremendous wrestler. I think the weird part is like his role with AEW and how instrumental he was in AEW is what makes it all weird to me. I think it would be up there because no one yet has jumped from AEW to WWE. I don't think so. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Put Cody in NXT? Hey, sorry, pal. Yeah, I don't know if I love that idea. I mean, I guess, yeah. I won't believe it until he shows up on the USA Network.
I didn't know that Elimination Chamber was like Saturday.
Yeah, that's a money grab show, right?
Yeah.
Damn shame. Ain't watched one, never will. You know,
that was crazy.
Was it one of those overseas shows that Titus O'Neil did?
Yeah. That's an all-timer.
Oh, Titus. Titus is a good dude, man. He's a really, really good dude. Dashing Cody, hey, you joke. Dashing Cody Rhodes was pretty dope. That was good. ESPN 1320 host and contributor Olivia Christian set to join us coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Had a conversation there about the New York Knicks a few minutes ago, and we could debate on how relevant the Knicks are, how relevant they should be, or whatever. But the question was posed: should? Because Stephen A. said he doesn't care at this point whether Tom Thibodeau comes or goes. He has Kenny Caraway's Luke Walton vibes right now with Tom Thibodeau. And you posed the question before the break: should Tibbs become available? You want him here in Sacramento? And I told you no, without even thinking about it. No, it's easy. Why?
Yeah, explain yourself.
Easy. Jesse actually said it perfectly during the commercial break. He wears out his welcome really quick. He's good for like a year, and then that's it. We would literally be Minnesota. We would be the disaster that Minnesota is, or Minnesota was. Get the one playoff year, and then just go back to the same old thing. Players would get tired of them.
Wrong, as Stephen
Wouldn't get
said.
through
You're
them.
not wrong.
Did it with at this point? It appears that's what's happening in New York. Got the team to the playoffs, broke their playoff-less streak. Was you just gonna go from team to team to team, break playoff streaks? So he checked off Minnesota, checked off New York. I guess Sacramento's next on the list. Phoenix took care of themselves. Monty Williams took care of that. I guess you could bring in Tom Thibodeau to break the playoff streak. You're going to need another head coach in about 3 years. But sure, you could bring Tom Thibodeau in here to break that streak. No problem. No problem. You can make all them faces you want to. But he don't stick around for what, more than this? What was this? His second year? This is his third year in New York? Second year in New York?
Second year.
It's the second year in New York. Of course, New York is entitled. New York media is entitled. They believe they're supposed to be the champions of the Eastern Conference now. How long was he around in Minnesota? 3 years.
3 years.
Chicago was his longest stint, and that was 5. 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. You want Tom Thibodeau here?
I agree with everything you're saying.
Right. That's period. That's the end of the sentence.
Why do I agree with everything you're saying? Because I was saying all this stuff when people were yelling, "Oh, look at Tom Thibodeau. That's what we need in Sacramento. Give us Tom Thibodeau." I say Tom Thibodeau don't even stick around anywhere. He's a good coach.
Well, my argument with
he's a good coach, but Tom, he's got a good roster, and he won't be around long. I was labeled Kenny Capaway because of stuff like that.
Two things can be true. You could be right about your take on Tom Thibodeau, and you could also be Kenny Capaway.
That's not true.
That could absolutely be true. My argument with Tom Thibodeau was always, well, Luke Walton, he just needs time. He needs time with this group. Meanwhile, Tom Thibodeau taking over that New York Knicks team, getting them to the playoffs. It was his first year. He ain't need that much time. Why are we still learning? Luke Walton learning 3 years in. What the hell you don't know yet? You still learning your junior year? Like you still taking freshman courses? What are you talking about? That's stupid.
Once again, like I would express, Thibs is the exception not the rule in what happened last year. What happened last year, you could say shouldn't have happened, usually doesn't happen. It happened. He gets credit for it, but that was an anomaly.
So did you ask if I want Tom Thibodeau here just so you could say that you were right all along? Was that the whole setup? Did you?
No, I just wanted to know how people, if they would want Thibs, because they were really hot on him last year.
All right.
Now he could be available. Kings may need a coach. Would you want him? I haven't seen anybody say yes yet in the chat.
No, I think someone did. Oh, quiet. The commercials, Aaron. Appreciate the commercials. They're airing on YouTube, so appreciate it. But I got to put the poll question up. If Tibbs becomes available, well, no, let's not make this wordy. Would you want Tibbs as the Kings head coach?
Next head coach. I don't know. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would or not. Like, if they hire Tibbs, I wouldn't be like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, let's see what he can do here. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, no,
I think some people would be kind of upset with that.
I wouldn't be upset. I'd be curious. I'd be interested to see how, but I'd also be like, yeah, okay, what are we gonna do next? Because you better have a plan for a couple of years from now, because history says this ain't gonna last long.
I wouldn't. He wouldn't be my first, second, or third choice. Not because he's not a good coach, but to your points that you made earlier. I mean, it happens all the time with him. You know, he comes in. You know, he changes the culture, and then the culture changes on him, and he's gone.
So very, very, very early returns here. 85% say no. Did you mention? I feel like I did. Did you mention who you would want as a Kings? Should they move on?
Yeah, I think I said Sam Cassell. I think that was the guy.
So Sam Cassell, like Kenny's power rankings. Sam Cassell number one.
Top of it.
Okay.
I want Sam Cassell, not only because I think he's a good basketball mind and he has it's time for him to get an opportunity, but to be with De'Aaron Fox. I think that would be, I think he'd do a lot for De'Aaron, and he would help him out as far as being a leader, help him guide and navigate through some of the things he would need to do to help lead this franchise.
Okay.
But I also admit that the coaching thing isn't my bag. I'm not Jill Adge.
That's Jill Adge's bag for sure.
Yeah. I don't. And even as good as Jill Adge is, I mean, we don't know what these guys are going to be capable of from spot to spot,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So that question is up on the YouTube stream right now, youtube.com/ESPN 1320. Would you want Tibbs as the Kings' next head coach? God, where's Sam Cassell right now? Do you know off the top of your head?
Is he still in LA?
With the Clippers?
Yeah.
He is, in fact, he's with Philly.
That's right.
Of course. Yeah. He's with Doc. Right. Okay. Gosh, I'm starting to wonder how old he's 52. I'm starting to wonder if he's Eric Bieniemy, man. Like, I feel like Sam Cassell's name has always been talked about. I feel like Sam Cassell's name's been talked about for, going on 5 years. Still nothing.
Sounds about right.
Still nothing.
He should get a shot, man. Baltimore, stand up.
Baltimore got a basketball team?
No, he's from Baltimore.
Yeah, the chatty house, the viewers on YouTube are not feeling this Tom Thibodeau idea at all. At all. I wonder, like, legitimately, how many more? Okay, dude, will you stop? You're unbearable sometimes, man. Unbearable. I swear. You feel yourself more than the New York Knicks fans feel themselves.
Pause.
Yeah, the vote is just overwhelmingly no. And I think a lot of that is no one feels like there's like, does Tibbs like legit? Okay, real talk. Kings aside, does Tibbs get another job if this New York thing falls apart?
I think he does.
Really?
I think I think he does. But if somebody said no, I'm not going to argue that. That could very well be the case.
I mean, it's not even the Chicago thing. It's the Minnesota, New York ones it's just quick and painful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like over, like, yeah, it didn't go well. I don't know that from everything that we had heard, at least last year, is that the Tom Thibodeau way had kind of been,
he kind of softened.
Yeah. He softened up a little bit, and some of those things that we learned about him in Minnesota switched up. We welcome in 1320 host and contributor Olivia Christian. Olivia, we're talking about Tom Thibodeau. We're talking about the New York Knicks. We're talking about Sacramento Kings head coaches, potential head coaches moving forward. Do you have a thought on Tibbs, who's known as a hard-nosed coach, pretty hard on players, maybe softens up a little bit, could get you to the playoffs, but he's probably going to burn some bridges within a few months?
I have to say, I think I'm pretty consistent in that I like hard-hitting, aggressive types.
Oh, that's your guy then.
I feel like he could be a great coach for the Kings, and because of the players on the team don't seem to be the type to exude a lot of aggression, or they're not super vocal. I think he would be a great addition to the team to kind of rally them together, get excited, get aggressive, and to maintain that level of aggression through the 4 quarters. So I'm on board with trying someone. I don't know if he's the exact person, but that type of personality I think could be very valuable in Sacramento.
Yeah, they need that, whether it's from a player or a coach. They need somebody that's going to bring that. Tibbs, like I said, it's like Damian was talking about, it's the shelf life. You know, if this was somebody that, you know, even had a reputation of, even though he wore out his welcome, it was 5 years instead of 2. Like, yeah, but it's everywhere he goes. Like, people after 2 years are just done with him. Nah, can't have it.
5 years actually feels like a long time, but maybe that's just in our Sacramento world. Where, 5 years. Woo, that's an eternity. It's probably normal for most franchises, but for us, it's like, who was? It was Adelman, right? Adelman was the last coach who was here for 5 years.
Yeah,
because James's line is always, "No one sees the fourth."
Right, that's crazy.
Boy.
I think longevity at any place these days. I mean, sports is probably the only place where you see people staying somewhere for, years at a time. These days, it's like when I talk to people who work for any kind of corporation, like, oh, I've been there 5 years. I'm like, oh, 5 years. Wow. It wasn't a year and a half and you bounced off to another. So, yeah, I think there are challenges around him and his personality. But I think the Kings need a shakeup, obviously. They've done some things recently, obviously, with those 2 trades to try to shake up the organization. But I still think they're missing that piece of, again, that aggressive calling people out, challenging players, as opposed to kind of just saying, well, they're this type of player, so we're going to try to figure out where they fit in. Obviously, you need a little bit of that because you have to live in the reality of who people are and what their skill set is. But I feel like there are enough young players on that team, and the fact that we've recently made some moves, that you're now in a position to kind of mold them as in a particular way that can put them over this hump and into the playoffs, hopefully.
So, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
You're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, and Odyssey Station, and driven by last year's Elk Grove Dodge. Go ahead, KC.
Well, I was going to focus it more so on this group again, and now we've seen them for almost a handful of games, and some good, some bad, some disappointing, some that would energize somebody watching this team. What's your thoughts about the Kings 4 games after the new Kings are here, and Sabonis and DiVincenzo and Justin Holiday?
I'm optimistic. I like what we've been seeing on the court, and that has been a commitment to playing hard through the 4 quarters. And again, I think number one, the thing that fans want is for the Kings to give a damn, and they seem to be giving a damn about each game. And losing, sometimes shots don't fall. And but again, if we can tell that you're focused, you're working hard, you're working smart, making, a better shot more than just the open shot, then you will have people in your corner. The fans will show up eventually. So I think we're moving in the right direction. Of course, I wish we had more W's, but I think we'll get there. And I wish we could practice during the All-Star break. I know that's illegal and people deserve their holiday, but it's like, man, if you had a little bit more time.
They're only going to get like 2 practices in.
Yeah. But I'm hopeful that we're moving in the right direction. And I feel like the attitude, even just their body language, and Casey, you and I have talked about this, their body language seems to be one, like people are all moving in the same way, wanting to do their part, play their role on the team, play within their skill set, but they all seem very committed to wanting to do the best for the team in a consistent way. So again, I'm optimistic about moving forward.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I feel like we kind of glossed over something. I think this is worth running the Justin Holiday sound back. Like, take a listen to Justin Holiday following last night's game when he was asked about the perception of Kings culture.
Yeah, no, these guys want to win. Again, I'm enjoying playing basketball with them. Actually having fun. Even in some of these losses, it's like I'm actually out here having a good time. We're communicating with one another. Yeah, we might make a few mistakes here and there, but these guys actually want to win. The coaches that we have in place are guys that understand the game, put a good scout together. So yeah, I know that stigma or whatever is out there, but being here with this team, that's not what this organization is about. They want to win, and that's what we're trying to do. Turn this thing around and do something special.
I mean, that's from a dude that just got here. I feel like like Olivia, like you said, you wish this amounted into more W's, but like if that's his impression, a week with the team, that's hopefully that's a good thing for the final 22 games of the season.
Yeah, like if his press conference was all about like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to understand these guys and see what like his tone and his approach. We would be like, oh man, he's already tainted. He's already feeling it.
We ruined a holiday, brother. Great.
But he gets the feeling that people want to be here. And, even the players that we've lost, I don't think as a whole, we thought they didn't want to win. Like nobody wants to become a professional athlete and just lose every night. That's completely depressing. But it's just the way that you approach the game, and how valuable your role can be in the game, night in and night out. And if he sees himself, and I think Justin has a great opportunity here with the Kings, if he sees himself as being part of an organization and a team that really wants to win and they're dedicated to figuring it out, I'm hopeful for that. And I hope it lasts. Lots of people enter the season or they enter the team very hopeful. We just hope they remain that way. And I think they can remain that way if they continue to play hard. It's when you have those lapses within games or quarters that can become heavy emotionally and mentally. And it can be hard for them to not succumb to the depression of being in Sacramento and not being in the playoffs and, letting their fans down. So they just have to, ride or die together. And hopefully that will motivate them and keep them for the next, 22 games we've got left?
Yeah. One of the things that I got from that as well, and no shade to anybody, but it seems like the energy changed when you have all the guys on the roster wanting to be a part of something and building something here in Sacramento. And when you moved on from Buddy and Marvin, 2 guys that didn't want to be here, that instantly can change the energy in the locker room. That could re-energize somebody like De'Aaron Fox or Harrison Barnes. It's not going to win you games alone, but we talked about it before, just the importance of hearing somebody like Justin Holiday talk about, hey, these guys want to be here. They want to win. It's one less thing to worry about, right? Now all you have to worry about is what do you have to do to win, not what do I have to do to win? And is this guy even here to try to win? Is he on the same page as me? It's just one less thing to worry about, right?
Yeah, well, I would imagine, the players that were kept, the players that weren't traded away want to be able to show up and say, yeah, I was worthy of staying. Right. So that's the thing. Like, I want the fans to continue to like me and love me and want me to be here. And then the guys who came into it want to prove that the trade was right. Like, I am a player worthy of coming to your organization. So they're both working in a way where they're trying to prove themselves and step up to the challenge of, again, kind of turning around this organization as a whole. Not one individual player like De'Aaron Fox having to carry the team, but all of them together carrying the weight of it. And it's easier to carry when you've got guys all together in with the same game plan, willing to shoulder their load, play their role. and wanting again to be seen as beneficiary to the team. This trade made sense. I'm excited that the fan base was teary-eyed, myself included, for a week or so.
Yeah, you were a little weepy.
Are you back now? You
were a little weepy.
Over it now? You with us again?
I am still following Tyrese. Like, oh, you had a great night. I wish you could.
See, we talked about this.
I'm over the trade. I mean, I'm going to remain a fan of his regardless. But yeah, I think I'm over the hump of depression. And now I'm just really focused on whether or not these guys are being, they're adding something. The kind of emotion that we saw in Tyrese, they brought that. So I feel like, we didn't lose that kind of energy. And if anything, they brought, they've opened up the court as a result and freed De'Aaron to go off. And we already knew he had that ability to go off before, right? Like we knew he had it in him. But they were just, like we said, for weeks now, pieces and parts that were missing, some kind of emotional energy and trust in the organization and teammates. And now he seems freed up to play and run around and, make amazing passes and in and out of the paint and just play in a way where it seems like it's so much more fun to him.
Right.
Yeah. When you have fun, it's better.
You're really good at talking to leaders. And I also think you're really good at the psychological aspect of all of this. De'Aaron seems extraordinarily happy, especially compared to the way he was when the season started. Like we had some fun going through pre-trade sound and post-trade sound, and it all sounds different. And that's far from a shot at De'Aaron. We spent a lot of time, probably far too much time, trying to figure out why exactly this might be the case. So I'll ask you, why do you think that is? Because we know he didn't have a bad relationship with Tyrese Halliburton at all. And we know, obviously we all love Tyrese Halliburton. Like I get that, but something in the last, 9 days or so has changed with De'Aaron since that deal.
I think it was that the organization kind of showed him by making these moves, which were difficult moves. We knew that the organization had to know the fan base was going to be really upset and doubtful that these changes would be advantageous to the organization, but they did it anyway. And they did it because they wanted to build around De'Aaron, free up some mental and emotional space for him to do what he does best, find him a partner or two who he can dish off and feel confident that they can start the offense and he doesn't have to create for everyone all of the time. So I think that having happened, did I say it the right way? I'm not drunk, I promise. That happened. It's like,
was you at the parade yesterday with them big old Luke Belaire bottles?
I actually was down there.
Woo! Okay. Well, okay. We're going to get back to that. Go ahead.
It's not as exciting as you want to do, but yeah, it's kind of like if you're in a relationship with someone and you're like, I just need you to turn the air down 2 more degrees. It's not going to kill you if it's, 72 versus 74. And you're like, you know what? I love you so much. I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to 72 and maybe I'll put on a sweater. You're like, yes, that's what I need from you, is to be okay with that. And so I think that's why De'Aaron's like, yes, they realized, and they told me this by making this really scary move, that they are invested in this relationship. And now I can relax in this relationship. And again, be the player that I know that I'm capable of and that they're ready for me to step into being.
I'd argue they didn't turn the thermostat down 2 degrees. They turned it down like 15.
My air conditioner just came on. I'm like, oh yes, thank God. That's what made me think.
I think that's how De'Aaron felt too. My air conditioner came on. Oh, thank God. I gotta think, well, and then sometimes I do think it is as simple as that. It's like you could argue 130 million for the next 5 years. That's a hell of a vote of confidence.
Right.
But then you draft a couple of players at my position and, well, maybe not so much.
Well, I have to imagine, even if you're getting paid a lot of money, you still want to perform. You still want to win. There's a lot of people in this league who are making a lot of money that we don't even hear about, right? Like they're all millionaires, but there's something about, if you've been told and you've been able to show that you're a little bit better, you're elite. You want to be in a position to be able to showcase that and do what you're now being paid to do. We're calling you elite. We're expecting these things. And if there are shackles on you, or, teammates who don't want to be there, and the management and organization are making moves, all fans can look at it as, well, we're paying you a lot of money and you're still not doing it. Well, I can only do so much. And yeah, I get paid to do a live, which is your fault as fans because you're the ones who watch, and it's not my fault that nobody wants to watch you being an accountant. So like, he can't defend his paycheck. This is just the world we live in. But he wants to do, I mean, every player, everybody really wants to do well. But I never want to, allow people to beat up on someone because their paychecks are so high. Well, they should just work hard anyway. I think they want to work hard. They're giving up a lot of their lives. Their livelihood is focused on their bodies, their mentality, and winning, and having all eyes on them, especially these days with social media. They're in it for the right reasons. But it is the organization's responsibility to make the appropriate moves to put everybody in a position to be successful. And I think they did that for De'Aaron, and obviously they did it for the entire organization. But it was really important for him to feel like it was done for him, in my mind. We're all in on this.
Yeah. We'll step out. We'll come back. We're going to talk a lot more about the Kings. Give and go with Maybach on the way. We'll get back to this championship celebration that apparently Olivia was a big part of. At least that's how I heard it. We'll dive into that.
One of the only people there.
That's what I need answers to. How many people were actually there? We'll find out here. We'll go commercial free till the top of the hour when D'Lo and Casey return here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320. I see Black Bottles 916. He in here. He's celebrating the Rams' victory yesterday too.
He was.
I know it's tough for y'all. I know it's tough, man. 49er fans who are forced to celebrate the Rams.
We just have to. We got to be with our people though. That's all it is. Got to celebrate with our people. We have a good time, man. Good times.
I saw some 49er jerseys down there. I don't know if they were looking for a fight.
Just hanging out.
It was a nice day. It wasn't, I think Sunday's temperatures were in the 90s and it dropped by like 30 degrees. So the parade yesterday was like kind of perfect weather. A lot of families were out there. I forgot about it. I just kind of happened into it because it's not that far from my house. But I'm like, oh yeah, the parade is happening.
So we'll come back. We'll start with the parade. We'll start with that. Maybe so we'll start with the parade, maybe a little on the Super Bowl, which will allow the Michelle Tafoya stuff to come in. And then we'll go to give and go with Maybach and finish out with the Kings. Good. Because I don't want to leave anything on the table here that we have. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. I don't. I'm like Garrett Cole every sentence.
My cup looks gigantic. It's like the size of my head. It's coffee. It
does look gigantic. By the way.
Nice. Be what?
Yeah, nice human.
No.
It's a nice cup. And it does look gigantic when you put it up to your face like that.
I mean, it's a big cup, but like it looks really big.
What's in it? It's coffee or no?
Yeah, it's black coffee.
Oh.
It's too late.
Kenny don't know nothing about that. Kenny,
I know. Kenny likes like milkshakes and then puts a little bit of
That's it.
French vanilla. And then you put some creamer in there. Then you put a little sugar in there. One of the things I've started to do, more creamer so I can have less sugar.
Okay. I put in
Kenny,
Splenda.
Kenny goes to McDonald's and is like, hey, y'all got milkshakes? Yep. Could you just heat it up? Just heat it up and hand it to me.
Ironically enough, I don't really like milkshakes.
Put it on your desk.
That's psycho person behavior.
I do not like
And then
milkshakes.
people do strawberry shakes. No.
Yes, that's the best strawberry.
Well, you have lost your ever-loving mind.
I have a child's palate, so strawberry.
Kenny has a teenager's palate.
I've said this before. People don't believe me. I don't really like sweets that much.
I had black
just
jelly.
like what we talk about with sodas. If it's there, I'll eat it. I don't really go get it though.
I ate black jelly beans earlier, so if my teeth look gray.
Oh, jelly beans. Good. That's just a waste.
Well, jelly beans are.
I didn't eat like I just like black jelly beans. So I had it. They don't put that many in a mixed bowl, so I just took a couple black jelly beans.
Black jelly beans are not very good, but
those are terrible. It's like eating black licorice.
I don't like licorice.
I don't like
licorice. Is disgusting.
Black licorice and
Don't
black jelly
eat licorice.
taste different to me. They don't taste like the same flavor.
I have no idea what licorice is.
It's disgusting. But jelly beans are good though.
Isn't cotton candy just like sugar's like spun? Like, isn't that all it is?
I can believe it.
Yeah. I don't know what the concoction is, but it's sugar air. I don't know.
Sugar air, yeah. What are you eat? Are you eating chips right now?
Yeah, I went with chips today. No craisins today, just some chips. Tortilla chips. No salsa.
Yes, I'm drinking coffee at 3 p.m. because I didn't work out this morning. And I'm going to work out after the show. So I need a jolt.
There you go. I can pretty much drink caffeine at any time of the day and then just go to sleep when I'm done drinking it.
Yeah, same.
I've spent too many years drinking it. Like I've destroyed my like whatever my internal caffeine monitor is. I destroyed that thing like a decade ago.
Same.
No black licorice and coffee shaming here. No, we're not doing that.
I'm all right. I'm used to it. I own it, as my workshop is titled. Own Your Story. I own the black jelly beans, giant head-shaped coffee mugs.
Yeah, that's what it is. And a phenomenal woman tea, right? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Phenomenal woman tea. All right, we're coming back to do a radio show here, guys. Let's be professional. We're with you here till 4 o'clock. It's D'Lo and KC, brought to you by McQueen and the Violet Fog, the smoothest gin in the world, handcrafted in Brazil. Normally the first pour coming up on a Friday at 4, but happy hour with James Ham and Jerry Reynolds tonight for Kings Beat premium subscribers. I think I might pour a little glass and listen to Jerry Reynolds tell some stories. Head over to thekingsbeat.com to find out how you can be a part of the happy hour celebration. James Ham, of course, will be with us tomorrow. Did get confirmation Kyle Madsen will, in fact, not be with us tomorrow, which why I thought it was so weird for him to text us like, hey, can we keep doing this thing on Friday? Yeah, no doubt. Let's do it. Then he's tweeting about his bachelor party. It's like, wait a minute. So while he wants to be back on the show, he can't be back on tomorrow. So we'll reach out to somebody. We're going to have fun anyways, man. Trista will be with us. Yeah, somebody will be in Kyle's spot. Who knows? And then James Ham will be with us. Olivia Christian is with us now. Olivia Christian, Rams fan. She was out partying with the you said you were at the parade. You're a Rams fan.
I stumbled upon the parade accidentally.
Was there anyone there?
Yes. Yeah, there are plenty of videos on Twitter where you can see rows and rows of people. I
didn't see those.
What tag me?
I saw some, but I'm sure it's not as big as some of the other cities. Which is, I mean, LA is LA, and LA Rams fans are, I don't know, maybe have day jobs.
Scarce.
It's not as big as Folsom High School.
Well, the people who were there were having fun. I can tell you that they were having a lot of fun.
Did you see the video of the photographer fall and Matt Stafford do nothing?
Yes. I didn't know it was the photographer at first. I was just kind of watching. I'm like, how did you just disappear off the screen? You just dropped in the wife's face. Her mouth just dropped over. She's like, oh, and he was like, I'm out. I got other things to do.
That was wild.
I think he tweeted, or somebody tweeted him saying that they were going to pay for her. She hurt her spine.
It was Stooge. Yeah, it was Stooge Schefter who's actually still tweeting about Matt Stafford and his wife Kelly. They're paying the photographer's medical bills and replacing her camera after she fell off the stage at the team Super Bowl celebration. You know what, Matthew? That's really nice. How about you go check on the young lady instead of turning around and walking away?
Well, I'm sure he was quite drunk. Maybe he was like, maybe I just saw something. I don't know. Those my drunk eyes? Am I living in reality? They were pretty wasted.
He was taking 1942 to the head. So, yes, he was drunk. And we already went over the party foul. You don't do that with 1942. That's not what you do with that bottle. What are you doing?
I wouldn't know. I've
Be
never
careful.
I've never been sent any of this stuff. So I guess that's not what you're supposed to do.
It is not what you're supposed to do. You don't need a bottle of 1942. You've got Luke Belair and Vylon
That's
and
what I should have
McQueen
the whole time.
and Bumble coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Don't worry. I promise you. I got you.
Chatty House, we hear this week after week, sweatshirts and alcohol coming my way.
Okay, the sweatshirts are not on the way because it's 90 degrees in Los Angeles, and you claim to be moving back to Northern California, but yet every week, there you are at your little spot in Los Angeles. So I've sent you some T-shirts to hold you over in the heat wave of Northern California, or in Southern California. Once you get back to Northern California, and then we'll switch up to T-shirt or to sweatshirts.
Well, I'm moving to San Francisco, so I need sweatshirts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of saying something week after week after week. See?
I really am now. I'm moving in 2 weeks. I'll be there at the beginning of March. And I sent an announcement to friends, hey, I'm moving back finally. And so my goodbye, like brunches, lunches, happy hour dinners have started.
Oh, nice.
And it's fun and all. But when I've been eating great, but the alcohol consumption is just it's hard to be like, I'm not drinking right now. Well, we have to toast you. I'm like, all right, well then let's
on. You're twisting my arm.
Exactly.
Is there anything else to announce about your move back to Northern California yet? Or no?
Not quite.
Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. But we always got stuff to announce. Man, that's what we're big on announcements here on D'Lo and Casey. So when the time is right, we'll drop that one as well. Did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
I did. I thought it was a great game. I had no dog in that fight, obviously. I mean, I wasn't rooting against the Rams because they beat the Niners. Cincinnati, it's been a long time coming for that town to have something to celebrate. So I'm like, whoever wins will be fine. But, obviously, I feel like a lot of people who were in the middle who had, again, no dog in the fight were like, they eventually start rooting for something. You can't help but start to. So in the first half, when the Rams started doing really well and they were running up the score, I'm like, oh, come on, Cincinnati. I want to make it a game. I want it to be competitive. And then, as they typically do, they start the third quarter doing really well. And then it's like, oh, gosh, here we go again with the Rams. They don't know how to keep it together. But it ended up being a great game. I think Aaron Donald should have been MVP. But,
he was a beast. He was just a beast. There was nothing. I saw a couple other clips from the game of isolated on Aaron Donald when he was just treating the poor offensive lineman like a with the sled thing where they just push it back 10 yards down the field. That's what he was doing to a grown man who is one of the best in the world at what he does at about 300 something pounds and just pushing him like a rag doll, as Gorilla Monsoon once said.
Do you feel like he just decides, like, I'm deciding to do this. I'm changing the game right now. I'm ending it right now, and then he does it?
Certainly feels like it.
Yeah, I think that feels
like it. Man.
It was a great game.
And it became clear how he was able to do all that.
It was a close game. Wasn't a great game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it being. I'd rather it be close and a little what's going on. You should have called that. Obviously, that's pass interference. Like those things. I think we're going back and forth, so it kind of equalized to an extent. But I just wanted to watch the entire game, and I thought the halftime show was obviously incredible. I loved going on Twitter and seeing people who are like, "What? Who is this?" and all of these black people on here. That's what I imagine they sounded like as they're on Twitter. What in the world?
You know what? It's that's a good segue. You know what's funny about you saying that is, you know what really got swept under the rug last weekend? What a horrible human being Michelle Tafoya turned out to be.
Oh gosh.
Like, you talk about just hiding something. Hey, no. Don't pay attention to this. Here, you got Dre and Snoop 50. You guys love these people. Watch them and don't pay any attention to the fact that this person over here, who you're going to be listening to the entire game, actually turned out to be awful.
I actually heard her speak at a number of events, like women in sports events. In 2018, when the Super Bowl was in Minnesota, I went to some of the news events and women in football. They have this Women in the Huddle event, and she was on a round table with like Andrea Kramer and some other legendary women in sports. And they were talking about being a woman in sports and some of the challenges around it. And I'm just paraphrasing here, but she said something to the extent of, well, it's not that bad. I've never really experienced anything. And if we keep talking about it, that's what makes it worse. And I was like, she might be one of those types. Talking about it is what makes it exist. It's like, if we stop counting COVID cases, then COVID goes away. No, it exists, even if you don't count it. So I was iffy about her from that period on. And then she was on The View a couple of months ago, and you get to see the other side of some of these people. And she let us know what she thinks. And I just find it hard to believe that you could spend decades working alongside African-American males. You see their families, you're building relationships, you're sharing their stories. And then to end your career by saying, I want to make sure that my voice is heard, so my white kids don't feel bad about being white and have to think about race. I don't want critical race theory being taught in school, so I'm going to go help Republican candidates. None of that is happening. But this is, you haven't, learned your lesson. You've learned nothing from the people that are around you. And if anything, you're now working to kind of silence them, silence their history, silence what's going on continually now in this day and age. What is that? That is just disappointing. It's depressing. But I'm glad someone else is going to take her spot. Let's just put in some other amazing woman who could do the job. Shout out to Lisa Salter, who's on every sideline everywhere.
Right.
But yeah, it was disappointing. But when that happened, I was like, oh yes, I remember this from 4 years ago. She is this type of woman. But
it's one of the many things about the NFL that drives me nuts. Like my man Karan J. Phillips wrote about this on Deadspin today, when he was like, you've hit a new desperate level when you've hired a black person to investigate your racism. And that's essentially what the NFL did. It's always funny when a company hires someone to do an investigation into themselves. Like, because it's like, oh, the Washington, I was going to say football team. I guess the Commanders, the Washington Commanders have been the Washington Commanders have commissioned an independent investigation to investigate these allegations against Daniel Snyder. No, they didn't. You're paying them. That's not independent. And so now the NFL is bringing in, and the woman that they're bringing in to investigate their racism just happens to be a black woman. Okay, I guess we'll buy this.
Loretta Lynch is brilliant.
Loretta Lynch is going to come out. No racism.
I don't expect her to do that, but you never know. Obviously every attorney will tell you everybody's afforded a great defense and she's going to do her job. But I also think she's one who, I think she's defended a couple of questionable characters, organizations. But again, if we want to get the full picture of what the reality is, it is important to hire well-established, credible people. So you can't say like, well, we ended up hiring a dummy and we can't trust. Like, well, Loretta Lynch is top notch. Yeah. So hopefully she will stick to the truth. I imagine she will. I can't understand why she ever wouldn't. But and she won't gloss over things. But she's also, she's going to be there to defend what they do. And when you are up against somebody who can defend very well, that metal sharpens metal. Like, hopefully we get to the truth of things and we find solutions so we don't continue to perpetuate these inequalities in the NFL.
Yeah. The other thing about it that is kind of sobering when you actually think about it is it just doesn't, regardless of what comes of it, the NFL just doesn't seem to care about these things. They just keep moving along.
Well, they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. And I think they were never going to have to until the players demand it. Like the MLB right now, they're shut out. We don't know when opening day is going to happen. I cannot wait to see.
It's never going to happen.
I want them to see the universal DH in both leagues. I want to see this, but they are, until the players demand certain things of ownership and management, then we're going to continue to see these things. And the NFL, it's just their mentality is just so different than like the NBA.
Right.
So yeah, the NFL's not going to change if they're not forced to. And being forced to means it hits them in the wallet, hits them in the bottom line. And until that happens, it's, Band-Aids and halftime shows by Jay-Z and, we can forget about it for a while. Let's dance and go down memory lane. Yeah, those things are fun, but Brian Flores doesn't have a job yet.
I hate the DH, by the way.
I love the DH.
No.
I'm an American League girl.
You see, I'm a National League guy.
Oh, beef here on the show. I love it.
I need some strategy to my baseball. I need you to be thinking, and you just throw the same people out there for 9 innings with the DH. Give me some strategy.
What? You got to pitch
Should
her
I
up.
pitch hit? Should I bunt right here? Should I do a little butcher boy action? Fake the bunt hit? What do I do here? I got a guy warming up there. This guy, he's thrown 6 innings. What do I do?
What you do is strike out in 4 pitches because your pitcher can't hit, and then it's like a waste of a batter. Moving right along.
But I get to keep him in the game, and that could be the decision that leads me to victory. AL's just throw any guy out there that can't do anything but hit. That's all he can do is hit.
Throw any guy out there. First of all, hitting, that's a very important part of baseball. You got to be able to make contact.
I like 5-tool players.
Well, your pitcher's barely, every now and then you run into a pitcher and that's why it becomes news. Oh my gosh, he connected. He got a base hit. Let's have a parade and the Rams could come with us. But basically, they never do anything, and we're just waiting to get back to number 1.
That's the other thing. I don't even know where we're at in the lineup when you have a DH. At least when
I don't know why y'all even talking about this. It's never going to happen.
Never.
Well, ain't never hitting again. I know that much.
Baseball's never coming back.
Why would you say such a thing?
It's just gone forever. Like they're never going to get this fixed.
They are. I can't wait for opening day. Oh, I love it.
When do you, okay, real talk. When do you think that's going to be? When do you think opening day will be? Okay, let me better yet stated. What year do you think opening day will be?
I don't think they're playing this year.
What calendar year do you think?
There's no year?
It's chance.
I don't think
in 2022, no chance.
I think the owners are attempting to just bleed them dry. Yeah. They're going to make them beg for mercy, 50 Cent style.
Gloria Estefan or whoever owns the Miami Marlins now has more money than your universal DH that you're talking about right there.
Does she still own the Miami Marlins?
I don't know. I thought she owned like part of the Dolphins. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody bought in, like they had a bunch of, didn't Ricky Martin buy like part of a sport? Like not Ricky Martin. Was it Enrique? What?
Enrique Iglesias?
They was just
Mark Anthony.
That's who it was. It was Mark Anthony.
Yeah, they went to the Dolphins. I think maybe they went to the Marlins. I don't know.
I don't remember.
They tried to get into the Nets.
Jesse says that was the Dolphins, and Jesse would absolutely know.
Yeah,
that was the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, I can text my brother and ask him. He'd say he's a Dolphins head too. Fins up, pins up. I'm stupidly optimistic about lots of things that I have no business being optimistic about. But I love baseball. I want them to come back, obviously. And I'm hopeful that it will happen, that we get a season this year.
I agree with you. I love baseball too. I love baseball, but
I love it.
I don't know. Them owners, they out for blood right now.
They are.
They're gonna make these boys big.
And they got way more blood than the players do. So they can ride this joint out. Let's take some of that optimism that you have over a baseball season actually happening in 2022 over to the Sacramento Kings. One of our favorite conversations each week with you. Give and go with Maybach O.
Yeah.
You tell us which is the name that you didn't approve. We just decided that's what we're doing. It's give and go with Maybach O. The goods, the bads, the gives, and the goes for the Sacramento Kings.
The gives, I thought they brought and had continued to bring the same energy night after night. These last 4 games, I'm excited by the fact that they've been able to maintain that level of aggression and integrity, giving it and going it every quarter. I no longer have the third quarter scaries. We'll see what happens after the All-Star break. But when the third quarter comes, I'm not scared. When they're warming up, I'm like, I feel like they still got a little pep in their step. They're going to attack. So give me that same energy as we move forward in the season.
And that's an interesting though the energy, like they didn't like the Brooklyn game. They just couldn't score. It's not like at no point in that Brooklyn game did I think, man, they quit crap. They quit or crap. They stopped trying. No, they were trying. Like there's a difference between not trying and can't.
Yeah.
They couldn't. Like that was the issue with them against Brooklyn, but they kept playing. They kept pushing. They kept grinding. It's just they very, very literally couldn't. They couldn't get the ball to go through the basket in that game.
Well, my go in this situation is giving up those quick 5 to 10 point runs. It's like they work their way back in. They're down 1, they're down 2. We're getting ready to take over the game. And all of a sudden, if the timeout or it's the end of the quarter and they come back, they give up a quick 5 to 10 points. And then they have to dig their way back out of it again. And they're not necessarily doing, they're not giving up when they give up those 5 to 10 points. It's just a lack of concentration on the defense. And sometimes the ball just doesn't go their way. But it's just a constant digging out of that hole. And I think that can wear on you. So if we can cut out these little lapses in defense or some of the things that just, getting smacked around in the face and you're whining about it or crying about it, which I think, they deserve to. But those mental lapses or whatever it is that's causing that 5 to 10 point run that they encounter every game, I feel like we can get some W's. So I don't have the magic idea around how to avoid those things because, again, I don't think it's always self-inflicted. Sometimes it's just that's the way the ball bounces. But I think those are the reasons why we can't seem to or haven't in the last few games get over that hump and get that W.
Yeah, I thought that happened a couple times last night. Specifically, I think at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's 2-point game going into the fourth quarter. I think it was a 7-0 run to start the fourth for Chicago. And to your point, Maybach, how about not always having to come from behind, having to always play catch up? Like, why don't you be the one that's up 10, 12 points for a lot of the game and then put the pressure on the other team?
I want Kenny to go into the locker room. Guys, we're going to try something different tonight. I want you guys to go up tonight. Don't fall behind. Don't be playing from a deficit, guys. I know it's a different strategy, guys. I want you to take the lead and see how that goes here tonight.
Well, sometimes that's about, playing the game that you're seeing in front of you instead of playing the game that you know how to play. If you wait for the other team to dictate, now you're playing catch up and you're trying to figure out what to do against them as opposed to playing in the reality of what you brought to the game. You know what their strengths are. You got to look for DeRozan and Colby. But if you're coming out and trying to dictate play and be consistent about it, then you're more likely, to begin with runs on your own and they're playing catch up to you. But I feel like sometimes the Kings, while they do have energy and they seem to be playing consistently with that energy level, they do kind of sometimes wait for the other team and they react to how the other team is playing as opposed to being consistent about what they know they do best.
Yeah, Kenny mentioned the fourth quarter run. You mentioned the mini runs. There was one I think it was the start. If that was the start of the fourth, it must have been the start of the third because the Kings started on like a 6-0 run. And then immediately gave up a 9-0 run. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that was fun while it lasted because it just disappeared within, seconds. Like, all right, well, okay.
Well, that leads.
Let's try playing from a lead, guys. Let's try playing from a lead.
That would never work.
Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it wouldn't.
Well, one thing I did like seeing last night, they gave a lot of energy again on defense. They were playing a swarming amount of defense. They had a lot of double teams. They were locking guys up. But it's again, a lack of consistency with doing that because when they get down and then they kind of decide that they want to catch up again, they will play in a very smart way and lock people up, as I said. But it's about being consistent on both ends. We started the season talking about the fact that defense is what they were lacking. There are a lot of people who can, jack up threes and go on runs. And then we saw, long droughts of that as well. But again, we've got some new guys on the team who can shoot, who can pass, but it's the defense that we really have to lock in on. Right. And some players are just going to be better. Some teams are better stacked than we are, but it's, about being consistent and being able to rotate guys in and out where there isn't a letdown. That same energy and that same concentration on those players that you're trying to lock up, but DeRozan, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. Right. Yeah. So let's do our best. And we know he's going to hit us up, but we have to do our best to not let these runs happen and then do our best to play our game and dictate the energy level and dictate the play of the game.
We talked a lot about defense today, and shame on us for not acknowledging. Obviously talking about DeMar DeRozan, the game that he had. There were a lot of plays last night where I thought the Kings played DeMar DeRozan really well.
Yeah, They
and
really
he
did.
still scored.
Yeah.
There's one in particular baseline. I can't remember exactly when baseline. He hit an and one. It was a difficult shot. It was on Harrison freaking Barnes, for God's sakes. And Harrison just looked like, well, I don't know what you want from me. I was like literally in my position. I got called for the foul. He is like that. It's just
he got to
DeMar's in a bag right now.
He got to another one where he got to around the free throw line or the elbow. I think it was Harkless got the shot. Was defending the shot, so he got a hand up. DiVincenzo came from his left side and got a hand up, and it didn't matter. Just splash.
It's like what James was saying yesterday. He's got this like shot chart and says, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, and I'm gonna get here, and I'm gonna score in all of those places. And that's what he's been doing the last 6-7 games or whatever it's been.
And the best you can do is the best you can do. Play smart, make it harder, as hard as you can. At least you don't want to make it easy and say, "Well, he's amazing, so I'm just going to watch him."
Yeah.
Luckily, the Kings weren't just watching; they were playing the game, and I think they did a good job on him last night. And yeah, you just have to give it up, give him his props, give him his flowers, give him whatever you want. But he's on a roll right now. And the Kings are going to run into other players who are just hitting from all over the floor. But a smart team. A consistent team, if you are playing in the way that you need to, some of those nights you're going to win. You're going to get those W's, and you have to play with that mentality and with that intention of like, I'm not going to give up because this guy's amazing. Right. And and even those amazing guys have bad nights. Ask Steph Curry.
Nothing left to do but take my head and call DeMar my daddy. I'm going to miss Pedro. We're not going to see him at all this year in the postseason. So sad.
Going to miss Pedro indeed. I love that you keep that reference alive, though. Sorry. Sorry.
Literally as a segment. Who's your daddy of the night?
That's pretty funny. Isn't that what they were chanting? Who's your daddy? Is that what they were chanting? Yeah, that's funny. That's
nothing left to do but tip my head and call the Yankees my daddy.
I love the accent too. That's probably the best part.
Don't talk about the Yankees. I like the Yankees. My Yankees hat over there.
Oh, you like Cowboys too? Lakers? Huh?
LeBron. It's Olivia James over here.
Let's go back to my give and go. Here's a give. Okay. I feel like I'm always going to say this wrong. Domas? Am I putting the accent in the right place?
So
yeah, we don't know.
Yes, it is Domas. Yes, right, that is correct.
Yeah.
But it's also Domantas. So I don't know. I guess it's interchangeable.
We like Domantas here.
Yeah.
But Domas works.
I think he wants to be called Domas. So
is that right? Well, then we should fix that. If the man wants to be called Domas, then we should call him Domas.
Yeah. We said it's like Kenny and Kenneth.
Oh, you don't like Kenneth?
I mean, I don't hate it, but call me Kenny.
Don't call me that. I don't hate it. Just don't ever call me that ever.
Call me Kenneth. I'll be like, I'll respond. I'll be like, okay, but I'll be like, why are you calling me that? Just call me Kenny.
Like, what point are you trying to make?
When Damien calls me Olivia, just address it, and I'm like, "Who's? Oh, I'm Olivia. I'm not anti called Olivia, but it's very formal."
Wait, what do you want me to call you? That's all I've ever called you.
Liv?
Me as you and my mom call me Olivia. Most people call me O or O Dog, and then when I watched Menace to Society, I was like, "Dang, I'm O Dog."
Yeah, you O Dog. You O Dog. Y'all want to watch the tape? Yeah, that's. Do people call you Liv? I've never heard. Maybe I have.
Boyfriends have called me Liv.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to call me O because everybody else calls me O. But it's very
rare
rare that
I've called you Olivia since from the moment we met.
I know.
I didn't know that was formal. That's me. I didn't know. Okay.
I don't mind. But Domas, like San Jose, Domas. I like that he's giving us a lot of energy. I like that he's attacking the basket. I like that he's okay with running at players and not being afraid of getting fouled. And he is getting fouled. So, I mean, they're all just getting slapped around, beat up in the face. Mm-hmm. I think it's wild. I've admitted this to you guys before that I didn't grow up a Kings fan in San Jose. So I didn't watch as many games when I was little, but I'm like, has it been consistent for the last 15 years that you just never get calls? People just right in front of a referee, you get smacked in the face. Is that always?
Just no respect.
Yeah. It's pretty much right. I mean, you could argue it started in the Western Conference Finals. You could argue that was the birth of the Kings never ever getting a call.
He went there.
I don't know if somebody owes them money, these refs. Like, did somebody talk about somebody's mama in the O-Dog kind of sense? I don't know what it is, but I feel like it doesn't matter what the rotation is of the footlockers that are calling the games, but even right in front of them, smack them across the face, and it doesn't matter.
Didn't Harrison Barnes have a bad one last night where he was on the break, went with the left hand, just got smacked around. No, play on.
Domas was falling on the ground, on his face, on his butt, and throwing your hands in the air, and like we don't care. It's not the fun kind of throw your hands in the air. It's
welcome to Sacramento, kid.
It's not the fun throw your hands in the air.
I feel like, each game you have to play the refs you have. Sometimes it's a night where they're calling all these offensive fouls. Sometimes they're calling but I feel like the Kings, that's like they can't win. If they're getting smacked above the shoulders, which is supposed to be flagrant fouls, let's get on the line. They won't get any of those calls ever. But my point is, I like that Domas doesn't care. He keeps getting after it anyway. He didn't back down from his game plan, from his strength. He keeps attacking the basket. Every now and then he'll get a call. Every now and then De'Aaron will get a call. But they have stuck to what works well for the team. And I think eventually, once we start getting some more W's, maybe the refs will start calling those fouls. But give me more of that. Give me more of that consistent driving to the basket and that aggressive attack. That's what I want to see more of.
Sabonis was tough last night. I don't think that's an aspect of his game that we spent enough time talking about today. Like he was tough, and I felt like he was on almost dramatic. He was on a mission. Like he knew he fell short in the Brooklyn game, and he wasn't going to let that happen again. And I think that was really, really noticeable at various points last night.
He was tough,
he was what?
He was tougher than what?
I don't know, Kenny. A $2 steak.
Yep.
Kenny's really big into these. Kenny loves $2 steaks.
Only in Vegas at 4 a.m.
He was tough. Like he was tough, and I felt like part of the reason he played through a lot of that stuff that O was just talking about right there was like, that's all right. I've got to continue to play my game. I've got to continue to be aggressive. We can't fall back into what we did in the Brooklyn game, because they were in the game the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, even though it did get to a point in the fourth quarter where it was kind of like, all right, finish strong. It's not our night, but finish strong. They were in that game, and until the end, that open three could have pulled them within 3. It would have been a free throw game from there, but still, like they were in it until the end.
Well, I think Domas has been aggressive every game. I think the first game is when he got smacked in the face and his eye blew up, right? Yeah. He hasn't stopped going to the basket hard from up. So I appreciate that. And I think that kind of play inspires the other players to go just as hard.
Sure.
And I've talked about in the past that the Kings have lacked somebody being vocal on the court who will kind of snatch you by the neck. No, this is what we're going to do. And they still don't necessarily have somebody that's kind of that really vocally aggressive player. But if your play is aggressive, that can be inspiring and ignite other people to, one, make better choices, but also take the high percentage shots. If that means an and one, God willing, we get some and ones, but also there are more options when you do that. Running to the 3-point line, you're limiting your ability to be effective. If you at least going in and out, you're opening up opportunities and you get better shot selection.
Hey, I got a question for you, and it doesn't have anything to do with give and go, but it's a real question. And I need you to put your motivational speaker hat on, or your leadership hat on, or your story hat on, or something.
Let me wipe off my glasses. Okay. Let's get serious.
Bro, what are we going to do with Richaun Holmes?
Oh, man.
Oh, Richaun. I feel for Richaun. He's had an incredibly tough season. The injuries, like just kind of random bad luck stuff that is not, it's not from a lack of passion. It's just
he
random.
Too gets slapped in the face regularly.
Yes, poor guy.
He just hasn't had a lot of consistent play because it's in and out of the lineup. And now I've got to adjust to playing with goggles. And now we've got some new players. My homie Tyrese, who used to dump the ball off to me so I can make that push shot and get, maybe 10 points a night from it. Now that's gone. now I'm coming off the bench. It's been hard for him. I have a lot of sympathy for him. I hope after this break, he has some time to, deal with what he needs to deal with physically, maybe mentally get readjusted to this new role. I think we should give him some time, though. I know there's been some chatter about bench him. He's, coming in and dragging it down.
Yeah, it's Kenny.
It's only been a couple games, and he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot.
We talked about this. We mentioned this earlier, and and I feel like now I have to mention it every time we talk about Richaun Holmes. You can't tell the story of his season without acknowledging the fact that he was playing well until that first eye injury. And then after that first injury, nothing was the same because he gets that injury, then he gets the other one, and then he gets the COVID time. And then you've got the Tyrese stuff, the Domantas Sabonis stuff. Everything changed after that first injury. You go back and you look at his game logs. It's like, wait, he's not, he's all right. He's good. And then it's just a mass, oh God, it's just a massive drop off.
And one thing you don't have to question with him is his intensity, his love of the game. He wants to get out there and he wants to perform. He's not slacking. He's not making bad decisions, but it is if you're not on the court enough, you start, missing easy passes and you're maybe thinking about getting hit and you're nervous about going in. And so you're, throwing some turnovers or, not making.
And it feels like that's missing right now. I think his play and understandably, by the way, reduced minutes. I think that's affected the energy that he used to bring on the floor. I think it's affected the energy that got him the starting job and got him a 4-year contract extension with Sacramento. And and above all else, that's probably the thing he needs to find the most.
Yeah. I think when you have injury after injury or setback after setback, it's hard to keep getting up for it. You've got your team, you've got this, you're healed now, you're ready, you're back in shape, you're healthy, let's get out there. And then bam, it happens again. It's a hard thing to overcome physically, obviously, and then mentally. But I really think it takes time. Just as we're introducing these new players into the lineup, they've got to figure out what works for them. We have to give them some time to adjust. We have to do the same thing for him. He's adjusting to coming off the bench now. And again, kind of playing in a way where he doesn't put himself in a position to be re-injured, which seems like impossible. How do you play and put your heart into it and play hard, play aggressively, roll to the basket and not be cautious about getting smacked again? And then obviously not even getting a foul called when it happens. There's a lot of mental hurdles he has to go through, but he has to do it because he's a professional. He's got to figure it out. At some point, it's going to be well, we're sorry those things happened to you. It's not the best, but we're going to have to bench. We have to figure out something. It might be benching you, moving you. But I have to say, the fan base, I'm sure, loves him.
They do. 100%. Yeah. We all, two of the three people on this show still very much love Richaun Holmes.
Sean and Tyrese, those were my boys.
And we love y'all for hanging out with us. We will see you tomorrow at noon here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
Holla.
We're clear. You're all right. We're off. We're just coughing on the live. No problem.
Sorry, I was talking all the way up to them and blah, blah, blah.
No, it's fine. Jesse always sends warnings. One I completely missed, and then one says 30 seconds. It was like, the show's over. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Show's over. So this doesn't happen a ton, but we gotta have a conference meeting here. So we actually do have to end the show.
Do you want me to say?
Well, yeah, you're the part of the show. Go Kings always, man. You know what's funny, man? Poor Marvin. Ain't nobody ever. I gotta follow the Pacers to see what Tyrese is doing. Ain't nobody going, man. I really got to check in on the Pistons. All right, we gotta go, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out, man. We'll have some fun tomorrow. We'll see you.